What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the NFL panel hosted by yours truly. And I am surrounded here, all to my right, by some wonderful gentlemen of the NFL world. Josh, CJ, Wise Cheese Matt, and Michael. How are we all doing on this fine evening?
All as well, man.
Great.
Doing good.
See, there we go. That's the kind of communication that I really wanted. Well, I guess before we get into anything, we'll go around. I guess we'll just go from left to right. Obviously, I just introduced myself. Josh, take it away for the people.
Yeah, I'm Josh. Me and Connie, we host Blitz Sports together, and it's gonna be a good show.
Good job, Josh. Good job.
Well, we never do introductions.
That's Cap. That is Cap.
No,
CJ James, host of the Garter podcast, partner with Unwrapped Sports. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, then this is yours truly, Wise Cheese. Real name is Mascara. Me and our great friend Caleb Conant have our very own podcast called the MCS Real Sports Podcast. Pretty much available on every platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, you name it, we're available. And yeah, enjoy a great show that we are about to present. Big trust.
There we go. And my name is Michael Lawson, as you can see. MD Lawson00 is my Twitter and Instagram. Go give me a follow on there as well. Connie chose not to live stream this on my Twitter, but I'm okay with that. I'm heartbroken a tad bit, but I've already.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll be right back. I'll find some tissues for you.
Okay. But this is an NFL show. I actually am a co-host with Connie for a baseball show, so it makes sense for me to be on here. No, I love everything sports, but the show is Backstop Banter. We're live every Thursday, roughly 10 p.m. Eastern. Go give it a follow, give it a check out on there. We'll be actually tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be talking to all the trades that's going on, free agency. We're actually going to try to start breaking down the East, right? The NL East and AL East, one team each week. We're 15 weeks out till the first pitch, and we'll just be doing all that stuff on there. Sounds good. That's about it.
And Michael, you know where I'm going with this, and Josh, you know as well, because I'm on shows with both of you. But you know what we're going to do right now.
Ready.
All right, go ahead. Yes, we're going to pay the bills right now, because that's just what we like to do around here. We got to thank the people who are helping us out. So make sure, if you're into the gambling world, like I know many of us over here on the Unwrapped Sports Network are, Josh, I'm looking at you precisely, even though I'm not going to lie, we might have to take a little break. I've been taking some L's recently. But if you're not,
I lied. I'm not taking a break.
Oh God, Josh,
listen,
there's a number you can call for that.
No, it's not like that. I'm just
But make sure you head over to mybookie.ag, use promo code USN100 to double your first deposit up to $1,000. They do some great things over in the betting world. They're always trying to get you money, free plays, everything like that. And then when you win all of that money from MyBookie, you're going to head on over to Teespring/Unwrapped/stores, and you're going to go buy some merch from the fam, because, we need it. You got to show the support. I got a mug. I wore my mask today at work. Beautiful Unwrapped mask. Just absolutely beautiful. Might have got some people said some things about me in the chat. Unbelievable. How rude.
It definitely made you look a lot better. I'll say that.
Well, I mean, it's hard. I don't like covering this up sometimes, but, I guess I have to at work, so I did. But make sure you check out the store. And then, of course, with the extra winnings, you're going to go over to rxhemp.com and use the code rxhemp-USN to save you 10% on your entire order. They got the good CBD creams. I know a lot of people are a big fan of that. If you're done working out or something like that, put it on and you'll feel brand new in the morning. But now, let's get into what the people are here for. And we're going to start it off here. We're going to play a little bit of contender pretender type of thing. And, as we go through these teams, we can obviously talk about each team and where you are in that situation in the playoff race in general. But we'll start from the top of the AFC, go down, and then we'll head on over to the NFC. We're going to start it off with the Steelers, currently the number one seed in the AFC. Just had their first loss on Monday against the Washington football team. Josh, contender, pretender, and then we'll just go down the line.
Yeah, I still think they're contenders. I know that they obviously lost against Washington, which is an ugly game. And then that game against the Cowboys, they almost lost. And playing the Ravens third stringers, they almost lost that game too. But I still think they're contenders. I mean, they're 11-1. got a lot of talent. That defense is insane. So I think they're definitely contenders with how inconsistent a lot of the AFC teams have been.
Yeah, I still have them as contenders. They've had some close wins. Ultimately, Washington came out and got that W on Monday. But I think they need to run the ball a little bit more, get back to Steeler football. That's usually what they're known for. They've kind of been a little pass happy. Dink and dunk outside of really, Claypool may go deep every once in a while. So I think they need to get physical, especially when it comes to the playoff time. Teams are going to try to take away your best things, your best plays, and your best schemes. So if they could get back to running the ball and get physical, Snell and Connor and those guys, I think they'll be fine. So I still have them as a contender, but we'll see. We'll see. They still have a really good defense. T.J. Watt, defensive player of the year candidate for sure. So even with Bud being out, even with Bush being out, they're still able to get things done. So I got them right there, still being right there as one of those top teams to get the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you as well, Josh and CJ. I got the Pittsburgh Steelers as contenders. I mean, they're 11-1, one of the best teams in the AFC. I do agree with you, CJ. The Steelers definitely have to run the ball more. The Washington football team has the best coaching staff.
I don't see. I'm a big fan of Joe Judge. Big fan. Seeing what he's done recently, but that might be a little segue to what we're going to get into later. We're going to hand out our award predictions, but don't worry, we'll get there. We will get there.
Yeah, we will get there. Basically, pretty much, Steelers are contenders. Just because they lose one game doesn't mean they're pretenders. They're still going to be one of the top teams in the AFC. They could probably be one of the teams that could push the Chiefs to the limit, especially with how good that defense is. Even though they don't have Bud Dupree and Devin Bush, you still got T.J. Watt, who, like CJ said, is a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. And I feel like Pittsburgh is just going to take this game, humble themselves, and, see how they look against Buffalo and, see where Pittsburgh can finish. But they're definitely going to be a team that will most likely be in the divisional round or the AFC Championship game this season.
Well, I will say this. The Steelers' schedule is one of the weakest in the NFL. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys. They
Who's barely even a football team.
Exactly, which I'm a fan, so I can say that. From the Cowboys. And then, they did lose to the number one team in the NFC East. So, I mean, I'm not going to take too much away from that loss. I didn't get a chuckle from you guys. Come on, it was Washington. This is the number one team, and they won 3 games.
I mean, they're
technically the number 2 team.
I think they actually became in first after that win. I think
Giants are the tiebreaker.
Giants are still okay because I thought I seen something saying that after that win.
New York for the win, baby.
Well, it's
just kidding. Listen, there's no winning in New York right now, non-existent.
But I will say this: the Steelers are hurt. They had so many COVID going on with this. Connor didn't even play this game. Benny Snell did not look well from Kentucky. Woo-hoo. But I take this game with a grain of salt. It's been kind of a downward spiral for Steelers, and I look for a tough game against the Bills, to be honest with you. I mean, I really think the Bills will come up on this because this is a week away from the loss and a week away from all the injuries and the COVID cases going on right here. But I still have them as probably the number 3, number 4 team in the whole NFL. So they're definitely contenders. They would not be surprised to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I definitely have to say that they're contenders as well. Like we said, they just lost their first game. It's really not that big of a deal. I think people take them losing to Washington, as a big deal because they obviously have a losing record at the moment. But if you watch Washington, they're, a couple plays here and there, and probably Dwayne Haskins actually being a decent quarterback away from being a pretty solid team because that defensive line is loaded with first-round picks. So I think they got a bright future, especially if Alex Smith is going to keep playing this way, incredible story with him, as we all know. But I think if Haskins had played well in the beginning of the year and, even the game that Smith came in originally, they almost came back in that game. They ended up coming short, but with Alex Smith getting comfortable and everything like that, they've actually looked pretty decent over the past few weeks. So I'm going to go with contender as well, obviously.
Washington actually is on a 3-game winning streak right now. So, I mean, since Alex has started playing, they've look a lot better.
Yeah, like I said, the defensive front with Washington is unbelievable, but Steelers definitely a contender. Next up, we got the Chiefs, which I think is a pretty solid answer, but, Well, let's go reverse. Michael, you go ahead.
Oh man, the Chiefs, they're pretenders, man. No, let's be honest. I mean, it's the Chiefs. They have every weapon possible. They just have a Bell that they signed. I mean, the defense is playing decent. They're playing real good. I mean, any kind of play that you need to be made, Mahomes somehow pulls it out. So, I mean, they showed a highlight of that little sidearm pass that he threw on a dart with the man blitzing through the middle, and it's just a perfect pass. It doesn't matter what happens. Mahomes seems to make the right call and make the right pass. Obviously, contenders, unless they play the Raiders, then it's iffy.
Yeah, definitely great points, Michael. But I also have them as a contender. It's a no-brainer. They're defending Super Bowl champs, and they look better this year than they were last year. And last year they won the whole thing. So it's going to be very hard for other teams to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs because they're so powerful. I mean, the Raiders can give them a good run for their money, like Michael said, but the Chiefs are the class of the AFC. I mean, a lot of people are saying, hey, Steelers are going to run, but let's be real. Kansas City is probably going to be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl once again for the second consecutive year. And all the other teams just have to sit back and watch the greatness of Patrick Mahomes basically unfold before our very eyes. So Chiefs are contenders, and anybody else who thinks differently, like Stephen A. Smith said, needs their sports card revoked and need to be drug tested ASAP.
Yeah, for sure. Automatically, like you guys said, like Michael and Matt said, Pat Mahomes is probably going to be an MVP candidate for the rest of his career. Number one in first downs, number one in passing offense. You got a guy like Bell who can, do a multitude of things coming out the backfield, still able to run the ball between the tackles. And then you got, two of the most. I mean, to me, I put a tweet out maybe a couple of weeks ago. I was like, they have 3 cheat codes with Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. It's like, what can you do? I mean, who are you going to double on Sunday? Unless you have a secondary, maybe like the Ravens, but they're sometimes inconsistent on offense. How are you going to stop them? And with Mahomes being able to get out the pocket as well, being mobile. And the thing with Mahomes is you see a lot of guys like gunslingers. You've seen guys like Favre, Jay Cutler at times. They turn the ball over. He doesn't do that. So you have a guy that's so methodical and he has the ability to throw the ball downfield accurately. They're going to be tough to stop. And scheme wise, their play calling is elite. They don't just do one thing. Where you could just okay, let's focus on that one side. Let's focus on that one player, and we could try to take them out the game. They get it to the other guys, McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins as well. So it's 11-1. They had that shootout against Las Vegas a few weeks ago, but it's going to be tough to stop them, especially because they already know how to win. They have the ring already. So it's really the only way that they stop themselves. That's the only way they don't get to the Super Bowl and repeat.
Yeah, I agree. Defending Super Bowl champs, they're 11-1. And like CJ said, they don't turn the ball over, which is really important when it comes to talking about winning a Super Bowl. And I've said all year, I think they're going to go back-to-back. So they're obviously contenders, and they're just better than everybody else in the league this year.
Josh, they're going back-to-back unless they play the Panthers, right?
Oh, yeah. If somehow they were like, man, the Giants don't deserve a playoff spot, give it to the Panthers.
See, this is when I knew Josh was committed to picking the Panthers every single week on Blitz Boys. When they played the Chiefs, he picked them. He really did it.
And we were in that game, though.
I don't get me wrong. I had to talk him into it a little bit, but it happened. And I was genuinely surprised that he actually did it. You know what? But I respect you for sticking to your guns.
Mike Davis, best running back in the league, man.
Oh yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I'll let you have your little moment. Yeah, Chiefs are obviously contenders, like CJ said. They basically have a cheat code at every single position. I think Kelsey is the first tight end to have 3 straight, something like that, 1,000-yard seasons. Mahomes is going to be an MVP candidate for as long as he wants to play, and Andy Reid is probably. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Don't disrespect Dad like that.
Well, I'm sorry. Take away Connie. Everyone else agrees with me in here because Tom Brady.
CJ, back me up here. We got to see more. Come on.
In the MVP conversation?
No, we got to see more. Listen, it's all fun and games. It's all fun and games.
Wait. I'm not calling him the GOAT. I'm saying he's the new Tom Brady at this moment. Like Tom Brady
Right,
is
Not yet,
in terms
because
of
they'll probably
dominance?
dominate. Yeah, they'll
Right,
probably
yeah,
dominate
yeah.
for some
right.
years.
I mean,
I'm
they got
not
the
saying
head-
he's the greatest of ever. I mean, that's Troy Aikman, hands down. So I mean,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah, they have the front office, the head coach, the quarterback. I mean, that's like the holy trinity to be in a dynasty. So they're on their way.
Off topic a slight bit, because I'm curious about this. Because everybody does talk about obviously Mahomes because he's fantastic, Kelsey, Hill, and everybody. How much credit do you give Andy Reid? Because I feel like it's a lot of people think like, oh, with all of these weapons, any coach could do it, but I honestly think Andy Reid, like even before the Super Bowl, which don't get me wrong, obviously I would have preferred the Patriots to win every single game all the time, or and the Chiefs to not win because they kind of annoy me in a slight little bit. But I put Andy Reid up there with one of the greatest offensive minds. I don't know if you can say coach, but definitely one of the best offensive minds to ever be in the NFL. I don't know where you guys fall on that.
where do you want to go?
All right, listen, somebody just talk.
All right,
Michael, go ahead.
Okay.
Michael, or Josh. No, Josh, you talked first. It's all good.
all right. Yeah, I think he deserves credit for it because regardless of how much talent is out there, it's tough to be able to put it all together and make it work every Sunday. And he's been able to do that for years now with a super talented offense. So I think he deserves credit, but obviously it is easier having such smart players and talented players.
Yeah, I think he's one of the most successful head coaches in the last 20 years, right up there with Belichick. You look at when he was in Philadelphia, 5 straight conference championship games, had all different types of quarterbacks from McNabb, Kevin Kolb, Vic, then goes to Kansas City with Alex Smith and becomes successful. And then they draft a guy like Mahomes, which, coming out the draft, a lot of people just thought, he was just another Big 12, put a lot of stats up quarterback. And for him to, have him sit for a year, have Alex Smith be there, be the quarterback, and for them to play well, and then, and then Mahomes to take over, I feel like you got to have him up there. I mean, right there, he's the second best coach in the NFL right now. I mean, you could say Sean Payton as well, right up there as well. But him winning that championship, he finally has a excellent quarterback. I mean, McNabb was good, but he's not on the level of Mahomes. Alex Smith was good. Those are really good quarterbacks, but those weren't quarterbacks to take you over the hump. And he's finally got that guy. So even though he's getting up there, I think he's in his maybe 60s as well. But coaching, they could go up in the booth and still be able to call plays. So as long as that dynamic is there, they're going to be fine. So I think he's a great offensive mind. I agree with you. Defensively, sometimes we've seen the past few years with Philadelphia, they've struggled.
Clock management as well.
Clock management, but again, when you got a guy like Mahomes back there, again, like Josh talked about, doesn't make mistakes, and he doesn't. He knows when to run the ball. He knows when to slow the pace down, or they could just go out and score in 10 seconds. So I think it's a great dynamic to have, and I think without Reid, Mahomes' career would definitely be a little different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely right there. I think Andy Reid is one of the best coaches in the league and one of the best all time. I mean, you look at even with this coaching tree, his coaching tree has been very successful. I mean, you look at Doug Peterson before he's decided to shit the bed this year, had a pretty good track record, made the playoffs, in 4 years, 3 times in 4 years, won a Super Bowl. Matt Nagy, before he did shit the bed again, made the playoffs his first year, was coach of the year. Was about to miss the playoffs for 2 straight years, but he had a good little run there. And Andy Reid finally has a ring. I mean, he's one of those. He was like a Dan Marino of coaches, always great, but couldn't win the big game. And now he's finally got a ring. And with Pat Mahomes in the helm, he looks like he can get multiple Super Bowls. So, I mean, obviously, Bill Belichick is king. He'll always be king as one of the great head coaches of all time. But Andy Reid could slowly edge his way up there. And one of the great head coaches of all time, the more Super Bowl rings he could add, not onion rings, Super Bowl rings. So hopefully he can continue the great pace that he's on. He's obviously with a good roster in the Chiefs, and he's probably got the best quarterback he's ever had. Like CJ said, all respect for McNabb. He had a great career, even with Mike Vick helping resurrect Mike Vick into more of a better passer. Even being able to deal with check down Smith, he's been able to do great things. And, let's see what Andy Reid can do. He's one of the great coaches of all time.
I'm going to say this, and y'all may think I'm crazy, but remember, I'm coming from the Backstop Banter show. I would rather have Andy Reid than Bill, just because it's more exciting. It's a happier offense. The fans love it. It's electrifying. Where has he went and not done good? Bill Belichick did coach for the Browns there for a while. I mean,
Hey, that's the last time they made the playoffs.
but still. So I mean, everywhere that Andy goes, he turns them to gold. I mean, even from when he was Packers offensive coordinator, quarterback coach back with Brett Favre or Favre.
Big fan of Favre.
To the Eagles, to now here. Matt, your screen was gone, and I actually said the word Packers.
I know.
Just throwing that out here.
I heard that. Don't
Matt was going to use the bathroom.
Don't be-
Listen,
No.
you.
Packers.
Listen,
No, a minute. I did not have to use a bathroom.
He has,
My
you know
mother-
the bat signal? He doesn't have a bat signal. It's just a big
my mother
piece of
called
cheese.
and I had to answer. I had to answer
okay.
the mother's call. But I can't
Okay.
believe you disrespected.
Well, Mom, they said Packers. I got to go.
Don't say Favre. It's Favre. Get it right. If you're gonna
Favre.
disrespect Favre, you better say it Favre,
Okay.
not Favre.
So-
Like, what is that?
I would just say I would rather play for Andy. I mean, the offense is just ecstatic. So, again, like I said, I'm going against the grain on this. You all are all up King Bill over here, but I would rather play for Andy. I'd rather my team have Andy, and that offense would just be awesome. Now, I think it's funny. What would we be saying about Mahomes if he went to Chicago?
He
Because
probably
they
wouldn't
actually-
be as good because he
Because
doesn't
they
have a weapon.
they drafted Trubisky first and then Mahomes.
Great decision, by the way.
Oh yeah,
So
top notch.
Ryan Pace. Ryan Pace has to go, man. It's time.
I just wonder what we'd be seeing there. Or would Trubisky be awesome if he was under Andy Reid's offense?
No, Trubisky's just terrible.
I don't know.
Yeah,
boys. I don't know.
Trubisky is just straight trash. I love that we get to play him twice a year because those are 2 easy wins.
That's me though. Andy, great coach. Can't say it enough. I think he is the most player-friendly coach right now. Nobody wants to play for Bill Belichick. He's hateful.
Oh, people do.
Listen, well,
Winners
see,
do.
Michael,
If Mahomes,
Winners do.
was on the Bears, just imagine Rodgers and Mahomes for twice a year. That's
Oh man,
that would have
Maybe
been my steam.
maybe they beat the
I'll-
Packers once.
I'll tell you one thing: Allen Robinson would be a lot happier.
oh my goodness,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
For sure.
Mahomes,
be a lot.
Robinson would have already signed an extension if he had Pat Mahomes on his
Well, let's be. I don't know about all that because they still have a terrible, GM. So he'd probably still say no to him. But anyway, Michael, I have absolutely no respect for you anymore. I might have to cancel our show tomorrow because I can't even look at
I'm
you
open.
right now.
Whoa, who said you're in charge of it?
Can't even look at you right now.
Hey, Anthony, if you need a
Well,
new co-host, I'm in.
You know what? I might have to hit you up after
That's
the show
right.
because
Josh, we'll take over
unbelievable.
Blitz Boys.
Listen, the show just wouldn't be the same without me. Anyway, let's go on to the Bills. To the Bills. I think that this is where it could get a little up in the air here, because I think the Steelers Chiefs, that's obvious and easy. I think this is where you start to kind of get into the conversation. Josh, what you got?
Yeah, I think they're contenders. They've been up and down sometimes this year, but the way Josh Allen has been playing recently, I think he's just going to continue doing that through the playoffs. And if he's on fire, then that team's going to be in every game. I mean, he's just got a rocket for an arm, and he is their entire running game because Devin Singletary sucks. But I think they can compete with teams like the Steelers and the Chiefs. I don't think they could beat them, but I think they can hang with them a little bit and compete. So I would call them contenders.
Yeah, I think it just depends on Allen's consistency, playing at a high level. He has all the ability to, be a really great quarterback. Something that Buffalo hasn't had since Jim Kelly. So, they have solid defense. Sean McDermott's done a great job. You can put him up there for Coach of the Year candidate as well. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But if Josh Allen can minimize the turnovers, he had a little, because in the beginning of the season, people had him as that MVP candidate, which he now is, and he had a little stint where he struggled for a couple games, and then now he's proven the haters wrong. Yeah, for sure. A lot of people coming out of Wyoming, they didn't think he'd be that good, but yeah, he's definitely proven a lot of people wrong, and he's just gotten better every single year. And Stephon Diggs was a big time pickup to get a number one receiver, a guy that. You could, and he has some doubt as well. A lot of people didn't think, he'd be good. Being the number one guy, thought, it was more Thielen, But this looks like they have great chemistry. If they just had a decent run game, I'd put them. They're still a contender. They're still a contender for me. But if they had a decent run game that could make it respectable and manage the clock a little bit, I think they could possibly be in that AFC Conference Championship game, maybe the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs are head and shoulders above every other team, but after that, it's up in the air for who they might meet up with in the chip game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely is. I also believe the Bills are a contender. I think Bills Mafia got something to celebrate. I wish we had fans in the stands, because I'm telling you right now, Buffalo will be rocking, tables would be slammed. I mean, this would be a crazy atmosphere in the city of Buffalo, which really hasn't had a lot of success until now. But overall, it's a great season so far for Buffalo. I do think it's going to be tough. In my opinion, this upcoming game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, in my opinion, will truly show what kind of team Buffalo is, because I'm telling you right now, if the Buffalo Bills can beat the Pittsburgh Steelers this upcoming Sunday, and if they could beat them handily, then they're going to be another team to talk about in the AFC. Because obviously, like we all pretty much agree on, it's Kansas City at the top. Pittsburgh's right there. But then for number 3, it could be Buffalo. You can make a case for Tennessee when Derrick Henry's on his game. You could even make a case for, Indianapolis. There's a lot of teams up there that are competing at 1 and 2, but when it's 3 through the rest, it's pretty wide open. But, between contenders and pretenders, Buffalo Bills are 100% contenders. And they could be a team where if they got to play Kansas City in a potential divisional round matchup or AFC Championship game, I wouldn't be surprised if Buffalo pushes them to the limit.
Now, I want to talk – I was going to say I want to talk to the newest member of the Bills Mafia, apparently.
Okay, yes. If you can't see, Bills Mafia, Allen MVP. Boys, this team has been nothing but great. Yes, there was a little spurt where they weren't doing the best. But and like CJ said, Singletary, he's not the best running back. We all know that. But that's okay, because the MVP is rushing. He's rushing for the touchdowns too. And I absolutely love it, because in every fantasy team that I drafted this year, somehow Josh Allen fell to me, and I did not want him. But I'm so happy that I took him, because when it's goal line, 5 yards out or so, Josh is running the ball in. So kudos to the coach, not forcing Singletary to fumble the ball or get stopped at the line. Just say, you know what, Josh, shotgun, roll out one way. If it's not there, just win it on your legs like he's been doing. So this is the Bills' year. Yes, I'm going a little extreme on that, but I think that they will beat the Steelers this coming week. Like I said a second ago, I do think the hangover from a loss to Washington plus the COVID, I think this is Bills' game. They looked really good last week, and Josh Allen will run for 2 touchdowns and throw for 1.
Well, you guys all disappointed me, because I thought we were actually going to start arguing about things. But we all agree that they're contenders, because I'm
well, they are.
No, yeah, absolutely. I thought we were.
Who would say they're pretenders? If they're pretenders.
Listen, Matt, I heard you say some outlandish things. I wouldn't have been surprised.
Ain't that the truth?
I'm a wise guy, Connie. I spit facts on most occasions.
The only
Not
thing
all, but most.
that would make them pretenders is, for some reason, they had to run the ball a lot. Like if they got up and had to get out of their play scheme of running the ball, trying to do clock management. CJ said even that earlier. That would be a problem. I think they would get a funk of their offense. Matt, I am talking. I just feel like that would get them out.
I will say, if they had old man Frank Gore, I think their running game would be better. If they had Frank Gore on there instead of suffering with the goddamn Jets. Can you imagine Frank Gore?
Frank Gore is
unbelievable.
unbelievable.
Not go for Bell. I don't know. If they could have signed Le'Veon Bell, I think
they did go for him. I just think he didn't go there.
Right? Yeah, that would have been a great move.
Yeah.
They should have. Word to Jalen Ramsey, they should have brought out the Brinks truck and just said, "Listen, we need you." But I guess we can all agree on that. So we're gonna move on to the Tennessee Titans now. It's they're kind of up in the air sometimes as well. So maybe this is where we start arguing about things. So Michael, start us off.
I will say this. 10 weeks ago, contenders big time.
10 weeks?
Yes.
That's a whole trimester.
Thank you. But after last game, the Browns handled them, and that just kind of put up a big red flag to me. I may be just a Baker Mayfield hater, but that slide that he did and with that turnaround taking that picture, that was phenomenal.
Listen, Michael, I got to stop. That was the smoothest celebration I've ever seen.
I mean, I've seen worse slides in the MLB compared to that slide. I mean, that was perfect. Definitely have to be some baseball genes in that man. But anyways, I think they're still a contender, but I feel like this hinders them a little bit. Can Tannehill make the plays? He's been making them so long. If they get down, can they play pass, catch up? That's going to be the biggest question on there. Henry's going to stiff arm everyone and run it for 90 yards at least once a week. If you can just keep them contained in that offense and make them pass the ball, that's your best chance. I still think they're a contender, but they're bottom contender.
That's where I differ. Full pretenders. They won't make it far in the playoffs. They're bums. They'll be looking to make it past the first round. I mean, this team is utter garbage. They rely on Derrick Henry, and that's about it. If Derrick Henry doesn't go, the team doesn't go. I mean, I had Derrick Henry on a fantasy team. I thought he was going to end a man's career in Cleveland, and instead the dude had a fumble and didn't even crack 70 yards. It was pathetic. Titans were terrible. The team is terrible. The record's 8-4, but they're a bad 8-4 team, if we're being brutally honest. I'm telling you right now, if they somehow win the AFC South and they got to play the Cleveland Browns, they got no chance against Cleveland. Hell, I'd even say they don't got a chance against the Dolphins or the Colts, if we're being brutally honest here. Tennessee Titans are a terrible team. They went out in the offseason to get defensive help, and they didn't really contribute at all one bit. $20 million in Clowney and Beasley, and they're both bums. I mean, it's flat out terrible. Tennessee Titans, if we're being brutally honest, even Tennessee Titan fans can agree to this statement. They're not going far in the playoffs. I'm sorry to tell you, whether they're a wild card or a division winner, they're going to be bounced in the first round, and that's a fact. So that's why I got them as a pretender.
That's a fact.
Yeah, as of right now, you got to have them as a pretender. The plus side is, Derrick Henry does, even though he didn't play well in this first week of December, they're usually pretty good in December towards the end of the year, towards January football. So I'm pretty sure hopefully they're making on that. But losing Taylor Lewan on that left side is a big loss to the offensive line. Just a leader as well on that team. And if you make Tannehill, throw the ball 40, 45 times, that's the key to beat Tennessee. And they had to play catch up. They almost came back. I do have to respect them for coming back. They could have just laid down and just got blasted. But they were able to come back and play well. Derrick Henry, had probably the worst game in the last 3 years against Cleveland on Sunday. But I agree with Matt. They paid for Vic Beasley, Jadeveon Clowney. Those were supposed to be the guys to go rush the quarterback, to go after guys like Mahomes, like Josh Allen, get to the quarterback, and they haven't been able to do that. Clowney's been hurt, Beasley's been hurt, so they've struggled. I think right now you got to put them as pretenders. But I think they're offensively they're talented. I mean, they have two really good wide receivers and Brown and Davis. They have a solid tight end and Jonnu Smith. McCole Pruitt as well is pretty good. So if Tannehill could, he's not a, a lot of people had him as a, top 7, top 8 quarterback. I never saw that. He's good. He's kind of like, he's a little bit of like Alex Smith to me. Like he's like Alex Smith. He does things well. He's mobile. You don't expect him to necessarily win the game for you, but he's a solid game manager. And I think, and they gave him all that money, so they're tied to him for at least another 2 years or so. But I think right now, I got to put him as a pretender, just because you look at those other teams above them, they just have better quarterbacks.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're pretenders. Losing, like CJ said, losing Taylor Lewan really hurt them, and just protecting Ryan Tannehill and in that run game. And when they go down in games and they're down big, then they have to trust Ryan Tannehill to throw the ball a lot of times, and that's not their offense. They've never been that type of team to just throw the ball deep and throw it most of the drive. So I don't think they're going to be able to go far in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be able to compete with teams like the Steelers just because they don't have a good defense either. Their secondary has been spotty at times with all the talent back there. They should be playing much better, but I just don't think they're good enough to do the thing they did last year in the playoffs.
I think I'm going to go with contender here.
Thank you.
For the simple reason, I think this is kind of what everybody thought last year. And to Josh's point, I know that they don't play the same when they're down big in games, but every team knows that anyway, and they still don't stop them. Like, you go into every Tennessee Titan game knowing that they're going to run the ball down your throat with Derrick Henry, and it does not matter. The man runs for 100 yards plus basically every game. It's usually money. Yeah. So, he can almost do whatever he wants. And listen, Ryan Tannehill looked pretty decent in the playoffs last year, and even in the beginning of this year, he was playing pretty well. So I guess I lean more towards the contender side only because of what they did last year, and if they can just get some of that back. I know, like you guys said, losing Taylor One kills them. It really does. Like that is a huge loss for them. But I don't know. I think I like Vrabel as a coach as well. I think that he can kind of adapt to things coming over from Belichick. Kind of seeing what they did over there on the Patriot side of things, and being able to adapt to each matchup and everything like that. So I'll go with contender, Michael. I got your back. I got you.
Well, listen, the record is 8-4, and the next 4 games they play is the Jaguars. That should be a win. The Lions should be a win. The Packers, they should probably lose. I'm assuming they lose.
Thanks.
And then
Thanks, Michael.
I just said it because you're on the show.
I was about to go off spicy case style, but
they finish with the Texans. So I mean, they're probably going to be 11-4 or 11-5. Is that a pretender? Like, what are we considering pretender and contenders? Like a good team?
Record doesn't speak for everything. I mean, they could win out the rest of the season, but it's what they're really performing out there. Like, they shouldn't be down that big against the Browns. They got to be playing better. If they saw,
but I feel like everybody's disrespecting the Browns. But I mean, they what are they 8-3 now? 9-3.
No, I love the Browns.
Like, at some point, we got to start putting some respect on them.
They should have had the respect from day one, but the Browns just flunked from season 1 and 2. So, I mean, that's why I feel like everyone's still hating on the Browns because, I mean, let's be honest, they have great talent on that team. It's just everyone got that first impression, if you will, and that's what they stuck with. But, I mean, the Browns are really looking good right now.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you say that because the Browns are the next team on the list, Michael. Continue with your point.
I mean, like I said, first impression, when we first seen the team on paper, they look like all-stars. They look like the Dallas Cowboys. They have every position that they look great on. As far as Ezekiel Elliott as your running back star.
Listen, he's still in Cabo.
I'm saying before
I didn't know stars had 6 fumbles.
Well, I agree. He's played horrible this year, but let's be honest. I guarantee he's still started in everyone's lineup on any fantasy team.
Not me. I dropped his ass.
Tony Pollard.
There's no way you.
I got McCaffrey. I got McCaffrey and Chubb. I'm chilling.
Well, okay, but still, I'm saying as far as beginning of the year, you had Zeke, you had Dak, you've got Lamb, even can you think of our other wide receiver
Gallup.
Gallup? I was thinking Cooper. So I mean, all that you're thinking, wow, these stars are going to be great, but we just not performed well. I mean, they've got Odell Beckham, they got Chubb. Who's the other running back that was hurt that came from the Chiefs? Can't think of Hunt. They got Landry. They've got Hooper as well, who was awesome down in Falcons last year. So they've got all these all-star pieces that just haven't been playing well. Well, now they're starting to piece it together, and it all goes to coaching, I think, and also just Baker Mayfield play, if Baker's going to make the plays or not. So right now I still have them in contender, but they could totally be – or I'm sorry, pretender, but they could totally be a contender any other week. It's so weird how they play. They're not consistent. Until they can prove that they're consistent, then I'll say they're a contender. But right now, pretender looking in. They're on the bubble in the NCAA. They're on the last 4 out bubble.
You lost my respect again, Michael. Unbelievable.
Interesting points you made, Michael, but this is the first time I'm ever going to say this in my lifetime. The Cleveland Browns are contenders, baby. If we're being brutally honest, 9-3, I would have never thought that the Cleveland Browns would ever be 9-3 in my lifetime. But here they are, surprising everybody. Kevin Stefanski's a great coach. He should get some Coach of the Year nominations, just because of how he's able to turn the Cleveland Browns. I mean, this is an unbelievable story. Cleveland from last year had all the hype, and then they shit the bed. And now they got a new head coach, Kevin Stefanski, pretty much bringing back the same players. Obviously, signed Hooper in the offseason, brought in Jack Conklin from Tennessee, huge signing, drafting their offensive lineman. I believe it was Willis out of Alabama. Good additions from the Browns, and they look good. I mean, they look good against the Tennessee Titans. And one thing I will say for certain, if the Cleveland Browns of the first half of that Titans game continues on for the rest of the season, Chiefs better watch out, because if there's any team besides, Buffalo that could give competition to Kansas City, Cleveland, when they're red hot, they could give anybody competition. I mean, they got weapons on weapons. You got two solid running backs in Chubb and Hunt, two solid receivers, and OBJ when he's healthy, and Jarvis Landry. Even without OBJ, they seem to be doing good. In fact, they seem to be doing better when OBJ is not on the field. So, hey, if you're Cleveland, Green Bay's open for business. Send him to Green Bay. Get Rodgers another weapon. Just saying. Got to throw it out there. But overall, I think Cleveland is a contender. I feel like the Cleveland Browns remind me of what the Tennessee Titans were of last year in the playoffs. A team not really with a lot of expectations to go in the playoffs, but they're going to shock a lot of people. That's what I think Cleveland's going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if they're a team where, they get past the first round and then maybe shock and beat a top team in the AFC and make it to the championship game. I mean, I truly believe in that Cleveland roster. When it's fully healthy, when Baker Mayfield is cooking and feeling dangerous, I mean, Browns are going to be one of those teams that a lot of people are going to be sleeping on, but could go far this season.
Man, it's tough.
No, it's not, CJ.
I'll say.
Yeah, you're right,
Come on.
CJ. It's not.
Come on, CJ.
I'll say.
Prove that you're smart.
Pre-contenders.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to be like in between, but they're kind of in between. But I'll say contenders. I like the way they're playing now. They're not letting Baker do everything. Kevin Stefanski's done a really good job of running the ball, playing that West Coast offense, similar to what when he was over at he was the offensive coordinator in Minnesota, and letting Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb run the ball, control the clock, and then working off the play action. We thought we were going to see more of that and a more dynamic version of that when OBJ was there, but it sucks that he was hurt. I think they'd be even more powerful on offense, be able to push the ball down the field with the play action. Just like we just talked about against the Titans, once off, as soon as he hands it off to one of those guys, it's like, those linebackers sink in so far in. He has so many open lanes and open windows to throw the ball to, something that, we didn't really see going to lose in a wild card round. It's very possible. Very positive. I mean, I feel like getting in the playoffs for the Browns this year is a plus.
Is a win.
Yeah, for sure. I think all the expectations that they had last year, getting Odell originally, but I think Kevin Stefanski has done a great job with scheme, making things easier for Baker, and that's a lot of people talk about Lamar and Baker and that draft class. Well, the Ravens did the right thing. They ran the ball and they played defense, and that's what made the Ravens successful. Yeah, exactly. And
listen, getting into the playoffs for the Browns at this point might as well be the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a step in the right direction for sure, and that's what they're doing with Baker now. Even his first 2 years, they had such instability from the front office and the head coach. It looks like they have some stability at the top, like we talked about with the Chiefs. That's the trifecta to being a successful football team. So I like how they're able to run the ball. Jarvis Landry has stepped up big time. Peoples-Jones, Hollywood Higgins has played really well. Austin Hooper was a great signing, like you guys alluded to. So Myles Garrett, definitely worth the money, being a havoc out there on that side of the defensive line. So I like their team, man. They're very talented, and I'm glad that they finally got a scheme and they have established an identity going forward. So I got them as a contender.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're contenders. I know that Baker's been really up and down. I think Dak had more passing yards, and he only played 5 weeks, and that was going into week 12 or something. So I don't think they're good Super Bowl really high hopes, but I mean, just them being in the playoffs just shows that they're a much improved team. So I think they're contenders with all that talent out there. I mean, Peoples-Jones and Higgins have been great for them ever since Odell went out, and Landry's been doing what he does. And having two running backs like that who can be the best running back in the league any Sunday, it's huge for them to be able to run the ball and not have to rely on Baker so much. And that defense, it's young, but it's improving. I mean, their secondary it's not the best, but they're able to hang with some of the best receivers and make plays all the time. So I think they're contenders.
See, Michael, you're all alone here because I'm going with contender as well.
That's fine.
Because
That's fine.
I feel. Listen, I feel like you just have to. I don't know if this is a bold statement, but I think that they have the best running game in the NFL. Obviously, you would look at the team before we just talked about on the Titans in that conversation as well. But like Josh said, when you have two running backs that on any given Sunday can kind of be like, oh, that's the best running back in the league for this week. They have that, and it's a good thing because you look at other teams who have two-headed monsters at running back, and they're more of like chihuahuas, maybe a little bit like that. Because you look at the Chiefs, it's Clyde and Bell, where it's good, but I mean I'm definitely taking Chubb and Hunt over them anytime. I mean if this is Bell back on the Steelers, I would have taken him over anybody, but we clearly haven't seen the same person, and with the Browns just playing the way that they have to play, they're doing it in a good way because they're not making Baker do everything like he should. He's not athletic. They got to stop rolling him out of the pocket and everything that we used to see before. Like that is not his game. He's not Lamar. Like I know he's in your division, but calm down there. Just run the ball, do your play action, let Myles Garrett hit people with helmets and move on to the next week because I think that's how they're going to win games. So I got to go with contender because I think I think that they could. What are they? Are they 9-3 right now?
Yep, Browns are 9-3.
You know what? I'm going undefeated the rest of the season. They're going 13-3.
Okay, now let me ask you.
And I don't even know who they play, honestly.
So let me ask a question. Are they contenders because they're making the playoffs?
Yes.
No, I think
okay, so then I'm going to take that and go back to our other team. What about the Titans then? How are they pretenders?
No. I think they're contenders because I think they have the best running game in the league. See, here's the thing. Obviously, the Chiefs are number one, but the way to beat them and we saw that with the Titans before they choked that game away, you have to be able to keep the ball away from them. And what team can do that better than the Browns?
The Raiders. I mean, the Raiders have played them well, and they're not running the ball against them. But I'm not going to go in that big argument. All I'm saying is we're calling them contenders when the Ravens, who is a very good contender, beat them 38-6. 38-6. The Bengals, it was 30-35 for the Browns, and then when they played them again, it was 37-34.
Hey, don't disrespect.
Okay, but see, here's the thing. But here's the other thing that can go against that. We all agree that the Steelers are contenders. They just lost to Washington, and they've played close game against the Giants. They played a close game against, like Josh said, the 15th string practice squad players.
Right.
So I mean, they're
the Steelers beat them
well.
38-7. The Steelers beat the Browns 38-7.
I was a little early in the season though.
Yeah,
I think they got on that streak. They had
I agree.
Right.
So what you're saying is you're a hater.
No. I just feel like
that's what he said.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
I think this is what I
Cleveland and
really
Tennessee, like they're right
I feel
there.
like we're calling them contenders because they're better than their last year team. When it's the same team, they have the people. It's just they underperformed last year, right?
It's built. They're built different.
If we're happy that they beat the Jaguars 27-25 and we're calling them contenders,
Well, the record, man. I mean, the score is like they won. That's what matters.
It don't matter how you win. A win's a win.
When the Titans go 11-4, the record makes them contenders, then, right?
Didn't you say the Titans are contenders? I'm confused here.
Oh, I said Titans were contenders. You all were said
I
they're
thought you said
contenders.
they're contenders.
I said contender.
Cleveland and Tennessee, they're built the same. They're built the same way.
I think the Browns have more talent though.
They have.
Yeah, definitely. Hands down, they have more
Anthony,
talent.
Anthony, to answer your question of the rest of the schedule, Browns got the Ravens next week on Monday.
Win.
They got the New York Giants, New York Jets,
Win.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Maybe
And
an
then
L.
Steelers.
So maybe 12-4.
It could go 2-2.
And just think, they're 12-4 and going to be a wild card.
What I will say this, what I really like most about the Browns right now is they're trying to pull Baker down a little bit, not make him be this high-profile player and person. They're saying, hey, you just be this little guy who's a quarterback that passes to your people. Don't be
Hey, but he's got a lot of
crazy.
commercials, though.
That's fine. And look at his little arms in that one commercial.
Too many
with the hoop.
commercials.
More commercials than wins.
And I think that helps the Browns out. If Baker's not trying to be a highlight reel every play, that's when they're the worst.
But what if he's waking up and feeling dangerous?
Yeah, they're doing the right thing. I mean, they're doing everything that all the other AFC North teams have done with their young quarterbacks.
Besides the Bengals.
Besides Cincinnati, exactly. Even when they had Carson Palmer, it was Carson Palmer or bust. And now you see the same thing with Joe Burrow. Ultimately, he ended up getting hurt. All those other teams, when they had young quarterbacks, they ran the ball, they played defense. So now they're doing that. The first 2 years, they weren't doing that. So they really have
team. And they have an actual head coach now.
Right, exactly. They have some type of scheme and some type of identity. Freddie Kitchens, I mean, he's not even in the league.
Even the name Freddie Kitchens should have made sure that you didn't get hired. Yeah. If you have you shouldn't even have been hired. But you know what? Let's continue on with an interesting team so far, and a turnaround that's been pretty interesting to watch in the Miami Dolphins. Josh.
Yeah, I think they're pretenders. I know that their defense had like a stretch here. It's been amazing. I mean, they've been keeping them.
What did you say they were?
Pretenders.
Okay.
And
just making sure I heard.
I don't think it really matters who's in at quarterback, Fitzpatrick or Tua. I just don't think that offense has been doing enough to score with the talent in the AFC. That defense could keep them in games, but Tua's been kind of like how Alex Smith was in KC, more of just making the right play, not doing anything special, just playing solid football, but nothing that stands out. And in the AFC, you need a quarterback that's going to just dominate those games to get you to the playoffs, unless you have Derrick Henry like last year. But they don't have a running game like that. So I don't think they can compete with the other talent in the AFC. So I don't think they're contenders at all.
This year, to me, they're pretenders. Obviously Tua coming in like around week 8 or 9 or so. I don't think I agree with Josh. They don't have the talent to contend with those other teams in the AFC.
Josh just dropped the mic, boys.
Oh, don't worry. Josh will be. Oh, there we go.
Josh,
first, I got scared. I thought something happened. I thought I was going to have to find a new host, a new co-host on Mondays. I mean, gosh.
Yeah, I think they're pretenders. They don't really have a really good running back. You have Gaskin, you have Ahmed. Those aren't household names. Those aren't guys you could give the ball to 20, 25 times and take control of the game if Tua's not having a great game. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's solid. He has moments, but then if you put too much on him and expect him to win the game for you, he could turn the ball over and give the ball to the other team and lose the game for you as well. So we've seen that numerous of times, which is why he's been on so many other teams, so many teams in his career. So stick with Tua. I like the defense. I like where they're going. Brian Flores has done a great job of turning this team around. A lot of people thought they were going to go 0-16 last year, and they ended up finishing the rest of the season really strong. Ended up getting Tua, and now they're establishing their identity, and they just need some talent. If they get some talent around Tua offensively, Devontae Parker's solid. Gesicki is really good tight end, really nice in the red zone, can get yards after the catch. They get a running back, shore that offensive line, and as Tua continues to progress, they'll be really good going forward. But this year, I have them as a pretender.
Yeah, I have to agree as well. I believe they're a pretender. I believe they're going to miss the playoffs. I think they're 8-4 right now. They're going to finish 9-7. That's a fact. They're going to finish below 10 wins. Look at their schedule. You got the Chiefs next week, L. Got the Pats week 15, L. Raiders, dub. Bills,
I don't know about
L.
that Pats one, man. I don't know about that Pats one.
Hey, Pats are red hot. MVP Cam Newton coming to form. That's a fact.
Yeah.
69 passing yards.
10-6. They're going to sneak in the
That's
playoffs.
really wants to be on Blitz, boys.
This man had 120 yards combined last week. We were never ever saying Cam and MVP in the same sentence.
Yeah, just like Wentz and MVP in the same sentence as well. But that's all good. That's all good.
Or Aaron Rodgers in Super Bowl, but that's a different story.
Hey, he's got a good chance, Connie. Don't sleep on the bad man. Don't sleep on him.
I'm hibernating. Hot. I'm not sleeping. I'm hibernating.
Well, are you doing like Kendrick Perkins, where he's sleeping with the AC on about the Timberwolves?
I don't even know what that means, but sure.
Oh, damn! I thought you did. Sorry about that. But yeah, the Dolphins are pretenders. They'll be lucky to make the playoffs. Obviously, they have exceeded my expectations this year. I was very wrong about the Dolphins. I thought the Dolphins were going to go 4-12, 5-11 again. But they exceeded expectations. Tua looks good. Tua could be in the running for Offensive Rookie of the Year. If he finds a way to bring this Dolphins squad to the playoffs, I think you got to consider him a Rookie of the Year, my humble opinion. But, short sense, they're pretenders. They won't make it far. Even if they make the playoffs, they're going to be a first-round exit waiting to happen. But pretenders, yeah, that's it.
Okay, wasn't for sure. I'm going to say this nicely. They are going to be contenders soon. They're definitely looking very well. They're in the right path. I mean, they have an identity, at least coach and staff looking good and putting them in the best situations that they can be. Would we ever thought that they would have a above 500 record? Absolutely not. We thought they were tanking for anyone right now. So kudos to them on that. Yes, obviously they're pretenders right now. They're not going to win anything because they probably won't even make the playoffs. But at least they look better than the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, I mean, that doesn't take much.
Yeah, that doesn't take a lot.
Listen, everyone
set
referred to them
up for that, bro.
I know.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone called the Miami Dolphins a fire trash. I mean, it was just that bad there.
Yeah.
Maybe the Dolphins last year might beat the Cowboys this year. That's how trash the Cowboys are.
I don't think so. Well, let's see. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Are we talking weeks 1 through 6 Dolphins or like
weeks
end
1
of the
through
year
6
Dolphins?
No,
they're not. They would not be.
Give us Dak. Is that Dak with 2 legs or Dak with 1 leg?
Dak not playing. No.
I still think Dak with 1 leg would beat them. Actually,
well,
the Cowboys beat the Dolphins last year.
That's right.
Yeah, almost anybody could have beat the Dolphins last year.
So back to on topic. I think the Dolphins are definitely a pretender, but they at least have a bright future, especially when they went out and got Lynn Bowden Jr. I mean, let's just be honest.
I have no idea.
He's solid. Yeah, he's a nice utility guy. He can do everything. Yeah.
Kentucky
where is he from? Oh, I was gonna say he's got to be from Kentucky.
There you go.
If Michael likes him, he's from Kentucky, or he's a Cowboy now.
Is that bad? I mean,
no.
Listen,
man,
that is how it's supposed to be. I just can't see. I can't ride with you on that because I just don't like college sports.
Because you don't like college.
Yeah, I hate it.
I don't know anyone other than you that likes sports but don't like the college level. Like,
bro, I would literally rather go outside. I'll go outside right now and paint all of my grass green instead of watching a college football
Would you rather
game.
watch a WNBA game than a college game? Oh, that's a low standard. That's pretty.
Bro,
I'm not going to give my opinion on that because I want the ratings to be.
See, listen, this is what happens. It's Alabama versus Western
NFL.
Middle
NFL.
Tennessee, blah, blah, blah. And nobody cares. So
not this year, bro. Not this year. They didn't get those easy games. There's been some good games this year.
That's because we got
next
the
team is going to be a good team to talk about.
Michael, don't you worry. The train is on the tracks. It is. We're okay. But next team is the Colts, and I'll start it right here. Pretenders, because Phillip Rivers is terrible. Yeah, but you know what? Now go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
It's terrible.
Since you want to be Mr. Host over here or something.
I'm gonna let CJ go. He's got this. He's gonna bring it home. I know it. Come on, CJ.
For the Colts?
Yes.
Wow.
I promise it's not hard.
It is because I just don't know what Phillip Rivers I'm gonna get. That's really what it comes down to. If you have the way they played last week, even though they almost lost and folded against Houston, which is just a sad game for a Texan fan. Just a heartbreaker for real. But
good for the Dolphins draft pick.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'll go pretender, man. I think they need just Phillips and consistency. That's the only reason why. They have a really good defense. It looks like they're starting to get Jonathan Taylor going. Hines is really playing well. They have some solid wide receivers as well. So Doyle looks good at tight end. It's just Phillip. It's just not consistent enough for me. He'll have a really good game like when they went up against the Titans a few weeks ago. And then there was the game against the Ravens where he didn't look so good. That was definitely a winnable game. So I'll say pretend.
Definitely looked real good. Packers.
Really? Really? Come on, man.
I had to. Keep going.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I know.
No, you're good,
Understandable.
I think if they could find a QB Obviously, they lost their guy last year. Luck retired. But if they could find a serviceable guy under center, they could be really good. They're really talented. I mean, yeah, yeah. He does that.
We got the whole department in the chat.
But I think I'll go with Pretenders right now for Indianapolis. But I do like their team overall. They have a great head coach. They have 2 out of the 3 of what we're like we've been talking about in terms of what makes a team successful. They have a good GM and Vic Ballard. They have a really good head coach and Frank Reich. It's just going to come down to that guy in the center for them going forward.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, I believe the Indianapolis Colts are pretenders. I feel like they'll finish their season off 11-5, maybe win the division, maybe not. But it's all about who they got to play at that 5th seed, and that 5th seed is the Cleveland Browns. And I don't think the Indianapolis Colts are going to beat the Cleveland Browns. It's just one of those scenarios where Indy, yeah, they look great at times. I mean, I saw them decide to come back against the Green Bay Packers. That's when they look good. When they run the ball, don't let Phillip Rivers be a liability, and that's how they become successful. But like a lot of you guys have said, what kind of Phillip Rivers are we going to get? Are we going to get noodle arm Rivers that look like he's about to retire, or are we going to get the Phillip Rivers that's decided to turn back the clock? That's going to be an interesting thing to see kind of what happens there. Now, one thing I will say is it'll be interesting to see how they fare up. I feel like Indianapolis has a better chance of going far if they can one-up the Bills in the playoff standings. If they can find a way to jump up and get the 3rd seed, I think you can make a case where they could go further. But if they have to be at the 4th seed, I don't see them going any far. And thank you, Caleb. Look at the squad.
Listen, Michael, don't be mad because you don't have a
signature.
What's it called? Yes, thank you, Josh. A signature.
Yeah, so don't worry.
And
Michael,
because I got more hair than you. I mean, come on, you see this right now?
Hey,
but shout out Caleb, my favorite frat boy.
Hey, definitely good fiber. Hey, Michael, your signature could be like this.
That's right. I mean, at least I can get them.
Alex, you know what, Alex? This might be the one time I'm going to agree with you.
Come on, Alex, spell my name right. If you're going to say I run a Rogers burner account, put some respect on my name. You put in Mark, bro.
Come on, Mark.
Come on, man.
Come on, Mark.
Come on. That's brutal, Alex. That's brutal.
Listen, Caleb, there's a lot of things happened in 2020, but that's not going to be one of them. This is not meant for a snapback, bro. I'm just saving the people from the world.
Alex,
listen, Alex, don't die. Well, yeah, facts. Don't die because unless I'm in your will, because then, everything's good there.
Wow.
This guy, bro.
Wow. Hey,
what a turn.
You're just trying to find a way to get money. You're trying to find a way to get money out of Alex.
Listen, that's what life is about, baby.
Yeah, hey, life's all about the money, and then you'll lose it all in the betting.
This is absolutely right. Check out mybookie.ag to use promo code USM100. Anyway,
there you go, boy.
But in the short sense of things, Indianapolis Colts are pretenders. Maybe they win a playoff game, but if they got to play the Chiefs or the Steelers in the next round, they got no chance.
Yeah. What about you, Josh?
Who's next?
I'll go last.
Josh?
Go ahead, Josh.
I'm actually going contender. I think I know Phillip Rivers has been up and down all year, but that defense has been really, really good. Darius Leonard has been one of the best linebackers in the NFL this year. Xavier Rhodes is playing like he was when he was really good in Minnesota, and Blackman might win Rookie of the Year. So I trust that defense a lot. Jonathan Taylor, ever since he had those games where he was fumbling and Frank Reich kind of benched him a little bit, he's been hungry and trying to prove himself. So that running game is getting going. And I know Phillip Rivers is not the best playoff performer of all time, but I think just Frank Reich's play calling and his offensive mind is going to make it easier for him in the playoffs than he has had it in the past. So I think they're contenders.
It's a great comment, Garrett. Big fan.
That's a good one right there because it'll never happen.
All right. All I can say is I was hoping I was going to be the only one, but Josh, thank you so much for being wise. These guys are contenders. This is going to be the black horse. This is going to be the sleeper team. They are the full package team. Yes, Phillip Rivers is a little younger, but he is. Oh, I was about to do a point there. He is.
Oh, hey, don't worry, I got you. There you go.
He is the career
or
MVP. My goodness. All he does is throw perfect passes with some bad ones. But no, let's get serious. Jonathan Taylor looking good in the backfield. After COVID and the fumbling, he's looking a lot better. They've got even Wilkins that's looking good in the backfield. They've got a three-headed monster in the backfield, and they don't even have to run the ball. They're looking great. Hines looks good even running the ball too. All Phillip Rivers has to do is not turn the ball over. Doyle, the tight end, looking great.
All I have to do is lose weight, but things aren't happening like that. You know what I mean?
That's why we're the coach potatoes. We don't play. We just talk about playing. But I just feel like even Doyle, he's listed as the second tight end, but yet he is their main receiver at the tight end position. So, I mean, they're run heavy. We know what's going to happen, but yet you still can't stop it. I just think this is a team that can put it together. The offensive line is wonderful. They're going to block well, push them through. Even like Josh was saying, the defense is phenomenal this year. This is going to be the surprise team, if anyone, that pushes through.
Yeah, and I kind of want to go off a comment like Caleb said. I feel like Phillip Rivers have a better chance of having a kid than winning in the playoffs, if we're being brutally honest here. It's bad. He's got 9 kids, which is more. I think he's got more kids than playoff wins, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, this is.
If I'm not mistaken, if you could check the stats.
So here it comes.
Yeah, first year with the Colts, and they'll probably lose in the playoffs in the first round.
You know what? You have your opinion. Me and Josh that's a fact. Me and Josh are a fact. They're contenders.
I've never been.
Where's the Super Bowl played at? Where's Super Bowl played in? Where's the location? Is it in Miami?
It's in Tampa.
Tampa.
Right.
They're not going. It's got to be in Miami for the Colts to make it to the Super Bowl, because every year in their history, 4 times they made it to the Super Bowl have all been in Miami. They had their chance last year and they missed it. So until the Super Bowl is in Miami, Colts aren't going anywhere in the Super Bowl. It's got to be in Miami, and that's a fact.
Wow, I just seen that comment.
We're gonna find out. But let's go to the final team of the AFC with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, sorry. I just saw Alex's comment. That was funny. Phillip Rivers has a pending sponsorship with Viagra per Schefter. I'm crying.
Listen, Phillip Rivers,
yet he's driving.
I don't know.
He's driving. He can text that perfectly, but he can't put marked.
Oh, no. He's probably got that speak to talk on. Alex is very responsible.
He's not driving. He's riding. Someone's driving him. He's over there.
Yeah, facts. I don't know why. You know what, Michael?
Yeah.
Michael, you just made – no, stop the show. Stop the show. You just made the best point probably on Unwrapped history. There is no way that Alex doesn't have a driver.
He's got
standing ovation for Michael Lawson. Standing ovation, round of applause.
There is absolutely no way.
Oh man,
standing up.
He's early in the backseat of his Bentley, getting driven around. This too. He not only does he have a Tesla. Fun fact, guys, Elon is actually the one that drives him around.
You know, Alex did buy me this terrible towel, guys, so I've got to be his favorite. Thank you, Alex. Steelers rip.
Anyway, let's go on to the LA Raiders, contender or pretender. Michael, since I made fun of you, I'll let you start.
You know, this is probably the hardest answer for me to put. Is I actually feel like they are close, but they are a pretender this year. I mean, I know that they just beat the Chiefs. They really look good, but I just don't think that they have it yet to get over the hump. I do think they're going to compete, but I do think that they're right now this year still a pretender, but making the right moves. Derek Carr, who we did not think was going to be good, has played great this year. Even mentioned him a couple of times as far as MVP. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but he's having a good year. The running back Jacobs has looked great this year. Even Waller, I think, is the number 2, if not number 3, tight end. I think they're a good team on the right path when that rookie wide receiver comes around. I can't even do all these comments going on. But I think the Raiders are looking good. I'd almost say kind of like the Miami Dolphins. I'm not saying they're on the same level, but they're at least going in the right path, but they're still a pretender in my opinion.
Yeah, and Michael, you made some fantastic points. I also have to agree and say that they are pretenders. I mean, I don't know why. This is the same song and dance the Raiders had last year. Last year they were 6-4. Hey, the Raiders could be back in, and then they decide. Well, I tried to mimic, when he's like the Raiders.
God damn, bro.
I try to be cool, but that backfired. That was a Mart moment right there.
That's a fact.
That's
yeah.
smart.
Yeah.
That was
smart.
That was rotten.
Smart
That was
kid.
rotten cheese.
Yeah,
That was spoiled cheese.
Yeah, that was spoiled cheese. Sorry about that. That won't happen again. But they're
Good.
basically
I'll put you in
pretenders.
timeout
Yes, it
next
will.
time.
Yes, it will.
I'm putting you in timeout next time.
Yeah, they're pretty much pretenders. I mean, last year they were 6-4, looking good, and then they finished 7-9. The same song and dance for the Raiders. I mean, they were 6-3, going up against Kansas City Chiefs, gave them a good run for the money, took an L, but hey, you know what? Understandable. You lost to the Chiefs. Kind of upset. Cheesehead. Cheesehead's coming soon, though. Don't worry, Caleb. Whenever we get to the Packers, the Cheesehead's coming on.
Caleb,
And
he's
then
going to
they
dye
do-
his hair yellow, and that's going to be the Chiefs.
Nope, definitely not dye my hair yellow, Michael. I dye my hair other colors besides yellow.
I mean,
That's not
if
a way
you're-
to go.
If you're a true Packer fan, you would.
If the Green Bay Packers make it to the Super Bowl, Michael, I will spray paint my hair yellow and green
Spray
if they
paint?
make it there. Yes, I'm not dyeing my hair. Who do you think I am? I'm not dyeing it. No.
I would dye it before I spray. Anyways, back to the NFL. Keep on
But
going.
yeah, basically, the Raiders are following in the same formula as they did last year. Surprise a lot of people, do good, and then they fall. That's basically what's going to happen now. They barely beat the Jets, and we think that they're contenders. I mean, come on, man. They're not gonna go anywhere. Yeah, maybe I'll think about it, but only if they make it to the big game. Only if they do.
So it
I
looks
mean-
like it's not happening.
Yeah, it.
No.
Well, it can't.
Oh, he said, "Yeah, I got him."
Excuse you.
I
Excuse
got
you.
him.
We're the
Oh,
number 2 seed.
Somebody clip it.
If we can be the number 1 seed, we got a good chance. If we're not a number 1 seed, it's very suspect. I will say that. But look at their final schedule. You got the Colts. That's probably an L. You got the Chargers. I mean, that's for sure a dub because the Chargers fucking suck. That's a fact. I mean, hell, even I could coach the Chargers better, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
You got the Dolphins. That's a toss-up, and you got the Broncos. I mean, Raiders could be a team that could finish 9-7, but this is a more competitive AFC, and I don't think it's enough for them to get in. I think they'll just barely miss the playoffs, but I like how Michael said they're like the Dolphins, where they're pretenders now, but they can be contenders in the future. They're definitely building something in Las Vegas. So for now, they are pretenders, but maybe next year or two, they could be up there and maybe competing with the Chiefs in the AFC West.
Yeah, as of right now, definitely pretenders. Defensively, they've been inconsistent. Carr as well. He has good moments, and then he has some bad moments as well. he's getting the hat. So I just don't see them, being in title contention or being in that AFC Conference Championship game. Not this year. I do think they need to. Henry Ruggs is good. He's really good. I like Josh Jacobs out the backfield. He's really solid. What's up, bro? How you doing, man? It's good, bro. But yeah,
Romance.
I just think that it's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for them. I'm glad that Carr really turned his career around because it was looking a little scary for a little bit for him.
Well, John Gruden decided that he actually likes him now, so he doesn't have to play scared.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. If your coach trusts you, I mean that takes a lot of pressure off you, and just go out there and play. And they've done that. They've had some solid W's, like we talked about against Kansas City, against New Orleans earlier in the season. So they've had some solid moments where you could look towards the future and be positive. But I just think right now, defensively, they're inconsistent. That game against the Jets, that's supposed to be an easy W, and the Jets pretty much gave them the game. So
I'm praying that that's actually true because that's the best thing I've ever heard.
Aren't they actually neighbors too? In Vegas, like, don't they have?
That's a great question, honestly.
Hang on. Yes, they are neighbors.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not sure, but I just think going forward, having that new stadium, I think they've really set themselves up for success. But right now, I'm gonna go with pretender for right now. They need some more weapons on the outside. Waller's good though. I like Waller, Darren Waller.
Yeah, I'm going with pretender too. I think their offense could make them a contender with their run game and Aguilar kind of resurging his career. but that defense just their secondary is too young, and they've been awful all year, and they really don't have a pass rush getting them anywhere. So I just don't trust that defense in the playoffs against these great offenses. So I think they got to be pretenders for now.
Bro, Alex, you have said every single team in the NFL should sign you. I think it might be time to hang up the cleats, guys. I think it might be time. There might be time. I'm
I
also
feel like
gonna
Alex
agree
is
with
Brucey. Brucey from the longest yard. I think it's Alex.
Oh yes. Oh, now I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic. That's another Michael. You've made some excellent points
Thank you.
on this
thank
show.
you.
I'll give you credit. Oh, look at this, Josh pulling out the dog. Okay, okay.
Yo.
We got a visitor.
She got
I see
one
how
eye.
it is.
Gizmo.
She has one
One
eye.
eye. What'd you do?
I didn't do it. My brother's dog did it. They're fighting over a toy, man. It's very
Yo,
scary.
you don't want it
I'm
in an
down for that,
unwrapped
bro.
flag football
I'm down
game.
for that.
I'm down for that for sure.
Tight end.
Hey,
They
hey,
call
hey,
me.
I'd be
I
in.
am Rob Gronkowski.
Josh's dog's name is
Who's
Henny.
gonna be
It's
QB?
actually Loki. It's Loki.
I'm QB. All-time
Yo,
QB
that's
right
funny.
here,
You
boys.
funny you said that because I'm just watching all the
I'm
Marvel
sorry.
movies right
I'm
now.
sorry to go there, Josh, but he's Loki, but missing an eye.
Wow,
Man.
cornball, corny.
But now, who's gonna be QB
But-
for that football game now?
Maybe me.
Michael on one side and
Wow.
Oh,
CJ,
oh yeah,
that's
I
what-
forgot. I
That's what-
forgot Josh.
no, I'm
Bro, I
saying
forgot Josh over here talking about. Josh has told me he's a big time quarterback back in the
Hey,
day.
never
hey,
said
hey,
that.
I
I never
love-
said
I love-
big
Actually,
time,
Josh said.
I ain't
Josh
never said
actually
that.
said. Josh actually said he got offers to Alabama, but he decided to do
Nah,
Blitz
bro.
Boys instead.
Whoa.
No.
He decided to do
Stop.
Blitz
No,
Boys.
that's
Why are you
cap.
making me
That's
look
cap.
like this, bro? I
That's
ain't
cap.
doing none of
One
this.
thing
Josh, I
do
looked
wanna
up.
see, though,
Josh, I looked
I
up
wanna-
your highlight tapes from high school, bro. It was unbelievable.
I want to see Josh play QB in that Cam Newton uni. NFL dies and Green Bay makes Super Bowl. Hey, I'd be okay with that.
No, this is the real thing.
Yeah.
Josh, is this true?
Nah, man, that ain't
Oh, that's
true.
a fact. That's why Cam won the MVP because he listened to Mr. Josh Linares.
That was the only year
I
I helped him out, but outside of that year,
Yeah, listen, could you help him out this year too?
I didn't
Getting
take credit.
embarrassed.
please,
Hey.
please help him.
What if,
Yeah,
hey, Josh, if the Pats somehow make the playoffs, will you unveil your hair from the bandana?
I'm not a Patriots fan, so nah. I'm not,
I'm not a Patriots fan.
But for your boy Connie, for your boy Cam.
no, not for Connie. Cam's probably only gonna throw like 70 yards in the playoffs, so I ain't gonna do that.
But hey, 2 rushing
Listen, the
touchdowns.
only time Cam is good is in Madden because he still struck people. But that was the AFC side of things. Let's get to the AFC now. We'll probably try to go a little bit quicker because we don't want to do a 16-hour show. But we'll start it off here. We're gonna go with the Saints. I think the first couple are pretty easy anyway. Go with the Saints. Obviously a contender here, even without Drew Brees. I think Sean Payton's like undefeated without Drew Brees in the lineup over the past couple of years. So he has been doing some pretty good things over on that side. The defense is solid. Obviously they got Kamara. Thomas is back now, so definitely got to go with contender here, right? We all agreeing on that?
Yep, that's a
Yeah,
fact.
for sure, for sure.
A weak contender.
Hey,
Ooh,
hey,
okay.
I think weak contender.
Hey, all I gotta say is if they gotta play the Vikings, bank an L.
I feel, I mean, they're a great team, but I just don't feel like Breeze can throw the deep ball, and I think that'll hinder during the playoff.
Hey, that's why I got Jason Hill, baby.
No. Don't think he can't throw it. You know.
Okay,
he
that's
can't.
right. I got to be like Matt. That's a fact. He can't throw it.
This is true. Josh, everybody else
Okay,
agreed.
man.
Are you going with contender?
Hey, but he could
I
definitely
would
do
say-
a quick
I would
slant
say,
from
like,
honest.
outside of maybe Rodgers and Wilson, a lot of those other quarterbacks you wouldn't suspect to be
I think you missed one.
Don't you dare say
Oh, TB12, your home dog.
I mean,
Wentz ain't on there.
we'll get to Tampa. We'll get to Tampa.
Okay.
They don't need to.
Hey,
They
there's
don't
a
need to
train.
throw the ball down.
Listen, all right, it's okay. That's Josh. I know it's Josh because we do
Chicago.
during Blitz Boys. During Blitz Boys, it's just
What am I
it's
supposed to
Christmas
do
time
about it,
too.
bro?
No, bro, no, Josh, it's fine because that might be the Polar Express, my favorite Christmas movie.
Oh my God.
Hot take. That's also a hot take. But we all agree on the Saints. We'll go to the Packers. I'm just gonna let Matt start because I'm gonna go make a sandwich, come back, and it'll still be going on. So Are they contenders or pretenders?
Well, you bet your ass they're a contender. If people say they're pretenders, they need to get drug tested ASAP, bro. Aaron Rodgers
actually,
is playing.
good. Hold on, Matt. Hold on.
I got you. Hang on. I've got it.
There you go. Just go ahead.
Thank you. Just
There
front
we
and
go.
center.
That works.
Floor for me. Okay. Green Bay Packers are going to be contenders this year. And that's a fact. We're 9-3. Our offense looks extravagant. Aaron Rodgers leads the league in touchdowns. He's on pace for his 3rd MVP. Know a lot of people want to say Pat Mahomes, but he got a lot of years left. He got plenty of MVPs left to win. This is probably going to be Rodgers' best year, before he finishes off his career with the Green Bay Packers. That's a fact. He ain't going anywhere. He's staying here forever. He's going to stay here in Green Bay for a long time. I'm going to say, what? Nah. We beat the goddamn Eagles. It's not a jinx. It's not a jinx already. That's not true.
The Eagles?
We could beat the Eagles.
Yeah, that is true. You can. I think almost anybody can beat the Eagles. But I will say, Green Bay, they do have some doubts. I am very concerned about their run defense. The run defense is very, very suspect. So, that's the only thing that's holding them back. If Green Bay keeps this up, if their defense plays well, you best believe they're going to be one of the top teams in the NFC and one of the top teams in the NFL. I mean, we finally have an offense. Hey, we can beat the Vikings, all right. Dalvin Cook cooked this last game, but it's different now. It's built different now. But yeah, overall, Green Bay's a contender. If you don't, then you're an idiot and a bum. So don't think that way.
Please,
like MJ said in The Last Dance, don't play that way. Because they are contenders. Now, will we make it to the big game? I hope so. I hope we do, because I'd be a happy man. But if we got to go up against the Saints or maybe the Rams, it's a little shaky, because the Saints,
the Bucks.
Oh please, we can beat the Bucks, no problem. We're better than the Bucks. We're gonna bounce back, all right. Last time we played in Week 6, it was terrible. But Matt LaFleur was off his bye week. He's terrible off his bye week. When he's coming in fresh, coming in hot, we're gonna be rolling. Defended specialist recently. Well, they did sign Tavon Austin. Gave Rodgers a first-round talent. We gave him a first-round talent right there.
Give him the ring right there, boys.
Yeah,
Tavon Austin is definitely the difference maker.
Yeah, Matt will find a stat, man. Maybe perhaps I will.
All I'm saying, here's the stat. During that speech there, Josh was able to leave twice and come back.
My dog's going crazy, bro. I'm gonna have to get up twice again because he.
Yeah, but all I gotta say is don't sleep on them Packers. We contenders, and we going.
You might be able to go a third time.
Yeah, Green Bay's gonna go places, so don't sleep on the cheese.
Well, I'll tell you where we're going. We're going over to Michael. That's the place that we're going.
Okay, they're contenders. Everything he said, dull it down just a tad bit. They're not winning the Super Bowl, but they're a good team. They're contenders.
Josh's dog Henny wishes he was the Packers.
She's a Bears fan.
Oh, that's even worse, Josh. That's worse.
Everyone except for me and my family is a Bears fan. So,
you know what, Josh? This is why I enjoy your presence. You stir the pot. Love it.
Yeah, love it, Josh.
I'm Chicago.
True. This is true. So are we all agreeing on contender?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
Sure. You're great communicator, guys. You're doing fantastic. Don't worry.
They are contenders.
So we got next up, we have the Rams over on the NFC side, win probably the best division in football. So, Josh started out. What are you thinking about the Rams?
Yeah, I think they're contenders. They've had some weird games though where they've been really, really bad. But I think what Sean McVay's done with that offense, he's kind of doing what Stefanski's doing with Baker Mayfield, not forcing him to control the entire game. Even though they don't have a running back like how Todd Gurley was for them, Henderson and Akers have been really nice for them in the passing game and the running game. And that defense is solid. I mean, we all know what Aaron Donald is and how dominant he is at the line of scrimmage. And that secondary with Jalen Ramsey, they're really good too. So I think they're contenders with how spotty this whole entire NFC has been.
Yeah, definitely. Goff has definitely made some improvements. Like Josh said, not having Gurley, but kind of sort of a running back by committee over there now. The game they just had against Arizona, methodical down the field. He threw the ball a lot of times. Before that type of formula would be, that wouldn't necessarily be the formula for success for Los Angeles. But he played really well. They have some solid wide receivers, and and Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Josh Reynolds, and some two good tight ends as well, and Higbee and Gerald Everett. So, they look good, and defensively, they have one of the best defenders on both levels, and Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey. So that's always going to be rush the passer, and you're able to stop the passer from getting the ball down the field. That's always going to be a formula for success. A lot of people slept on them earlier in the year. They had that, that stinker against Miami. People were down on them and had some doubts, but they've really picked it up. Got some key W's against the Seahawks, against the Cardinals, which is very key. Like what Anthony just talked about, one of the best divisions in the league. So they look good. They look really good. So they look really good, and if Goff can continue to improve, I think they could definitely be a contender. They were just in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, so they're right there. McVay's done a great job, and it's going to be up to Goff to continue to stay consistent and make some plays. Ramsey or Gilmore, I think.
Gilmore, baby.
I think. Personally, I'll go with Gilmore, but. This year,
Frat Boy about to come to town and put the whoop ass on us.
Ramsey,
expecting his boy Ramsey.
They're both shut down guys. Gilmore struggled in the beginning of the season, but he's picked it up he played well against D Hop. He played well against Keenan Allen the last 2 weeks. So he's still showing why he's definitely won Defensive Player of the Year last year. Jalen Ramsey's he's excellent too. He's those are top two guys. But being a Pats guy, I'm gonna have to go with Gilly.
I am going to disagree. I think the LA Rams are pretenders. I truly believe the LA Rams are a team where they might win maybe a playoff game, or they could lose in the first round, because we don't know what kind of golf we're going to get. We're going to get liability golf, or we're going to get good golf. You never know what you're going to get. And you look at their final schedule, Patriots, that's a toss-up game. In my humble opinion, I say they got an upset and take an L there. That's 8-5. You got the New York Jets, that's a win, that's 9-5. Go up against the Seahawks, that's an L, it's 9-6. Go up against the Cardinals, dub, 10-6. You're probably going to be in the wild card game. You probably got to travel to Seattle, probably got to travel to Lambeau Field or New Orleans, and you got no chance of winning. I mean, they're a pretender waiting to happen, and essentially they're probably going to be a team where they may have a good record, and they're just going to disappoint in the playoffs, because that's the LA Rams.
I'm just wanting to add that if Alex truly is driving, how many cars has he almost hit? So
he got to be a bumper to bumper.
I think
it is Cali, so he might literally be stopped this entire time.
We all know he's sitting on the pooper right now. Let's be honest. But anyway,
I don't know. And Alex, for this one, honestly, that's fine with me, because that means I secured the bag.
You fit Skip so perfectly too.
That's cap.
Anyways, the Rams,
maybe money-wise,
I do think they're pretenders at the moment. I do think they're 1 or 2 steps away from being contenders again. They're not too far, once removed, if you will, from being contenders. So I wouldn't be surprised if they came out being a good team during the playoffs in this. But right now, I feel like they're pretenders. Their running back play is good, but they really haven't had a dominant one stick out from the other, I don't think, which in some cases are good, but you have to figure out who's going to be the hot hand. And sometimes I think that is a bad situation, is you go with one that you think is going to be hot and it's not, and then just back and forth on it. So I feel like right now the Rams are pretenders, but have a chance to be contenders this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with the pretender thing, only because I think they're too inconsistent. I don't know if they play better throughout the year, I would obviously that would make them a contender. But I don't know, they're just a little bit too inconsistent for me. Like, you can have games here and there, but I feel like no, Browns are just good.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael, a Cowboy and Steeler insider. Interesting.
Yes, I haven't already.
Oh, and wait, what was the other team that you? Oh, and you're part of the Bills Mafia too. You're getting passed around all over the NFL.
Listen. I'm sorry that's just now breaking. That's been about 2 months ago that I've agreed with the Cowboys and Steelers.
Michael's going to be like Ryan Fitzpatrick. He'll be passed around everywhere in the league.
Hey, give me a couple million, I will go all over the place.
Listen, for a couple $1 million, I'll be the practice dummy for the team.
Listen,
I'll be like Jared Lorenzo. I'll be the tackle dummy. Backfield.
I'll throw them deep balls, 10, 20 yards, farther than Breeze can throw.
Well, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Next up, going to move on to a team that is just disgusting. It's simply awful. We're going to go with the Giants, but we have to talk about them because they're probably going to win the division.
No, they're not.
No, well, listen. You know what? You did say Washington. You did say
I've
Washington.
said it. For a long time now, I've said it.
Well, don't worry, Michael. We're going to get to you. Matt, why don't you start us off? Let's change up the order a little bit.
It's here. We're going to change up the order a little bit. I believe the New York Giants are the fullest of pretenders. They'll probably make it. They'll probably win the division below 500. They're probably going to play Tampa Bay or Seattle and probably get their butts whipped. But who knows? Brady's kryptonite is the Giants. They have lost to the Giants twice, in the Super Bowl. So anything can happen any given Sunday.
Thank you, Alex.
But in all honesty, I mean, I'm just impressed the Giants at 5-7 made it this far. Shit, I had the Giants before the season started going 1-15 because I said everything was going to hit the fan, but I was dead wrong on that.
Alex, I am not 40.
Alex, I know what it is. Hey, I'm 34 and I know what it is.
I don't know what it is, but I know Alex has probably put some stuff in there.
Seriously, hold up, Josh. Do you know what a Rolodex is?
No, dude. Alex has said
CJ.
it so many times.
Of course.
You know what a Rolodex is?
Yeah, I'm the same.
Thank
I'm
you.
the same age as Alex, bro. Yeah, that's
Okay.
We were young.
Okay, so
Yeah, pretty much back to the topic at hand. I think.
But Rolodex came out. Michael was paying taxes.
Out right there.
But yeah, Giants are a pretender. If they make the playoffs, that's great for them. Kudos for New York. That's the only highlight New York has had. Is the Giants actually competing for a playoff spot? But we'll see what happens. You also can't sleep on that Washington football team. They're also 5-7. Check down Smith on one leg, a bloody leg too, finding a way to beat the Steelers last week. I mean, it's one of those situations where whoever wins the NFC least, you just gotta, hey, somebody's got to do it. So,
that is a Rolodex.
Oh,
guys.
I've seen that. Now
That's a Rolodex.
Now I know what it is. All right.
I've seen that in a museum, guys. It's really weird. What's all the paper?
Damn,
on
I
it?
can't believe somebody would actually say that about Alex.
Yeah, dude,
that's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
I have no idea.
Hey, was your Twitter hacked? Because
I think I just got the alert on my phone that I got to change my password. Oh god!
You
To
probably got it.
Rolodex. No one ever gets that.
Hey, Rolodex 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it to AV Rolodex.
There you
Because
go.
Alex is the one that always brings it up.
But yeah, in the short term, Giants are pretenders. But you have to give New York something to be happy about, right?
Listen,
Yes.
even if I was an actor in a corny kid show, once again, I probably secured the bag. That's all that
Yeah, you
matters.
You did. Bag secured.
Okay, we're talking about the Giants. I'm going to go now. I mean, they're contenders because they are in the number one seed in their division. But let's be honest, this is nothing but a pretend. It's magic right here. Like,
Hey, I don't know. Those two Super Bowl runs by the Giants.
no. They're going to get a top 10 to 15 draft pick this year and still make the playoffs.
Yeah, that was.
That's a win.
That's so.
I
Cool.
mean, it's great, to be honest with you, but I actually do think Washington is just playing better football right now. Giants does have a good defense. I just feel like Washington is a solid team. Alex Smith deserves it. He is everything what football is about right now, the greatest storyline ever going on. I won't get into that because I know we'll get some more words possibly in the next 5 hours. But I just feel like Washington's going to come out on that. It's pretend, guys. Let's not even waste time on this. It's pretend.
Whoever wins the NFC East is pick number 19.
It's crazy.
That's tough.
Could you imagine though going 5-11? You get pick number 19.
And being in the playoffs.
We're gonna find out. So,
Yeah, I had them as pretenders as well. Just not.
CJ, thank you for not saying contenders.
No, I'm not. I mean, I will give them a lot of credit. I mean, they've had some really. In the beginning of the year, they had some close games where they just weren't able to close. I think we talked about this in the last live stream I did with Michael and Matt, and I think with Ben as well when they went up against Philadelphia. So
That 20-yard line.
Evan Ingram dropping that pass. That was a tough one for them. But
Then Danny Dimes stumbling.
exactly, it's crazy. But they play scrappy. They play scrappy. You got to give credit to Joe Judge. Coming from New England coaching tree. A lot of people doubted him. That's the signature right there. But yeah,
I'm putting that on a t-shirt.
Oh Lord.
a lot of people doubted them. They're scrappy, man. You got Jabril Peppers playing really well. Leonard Williams, the Jets, man. That's just it's tough. Man. Just trade that guy, and he goes right across, not even across the street, the same stadium, still playing at a high level. So, they look, they're not going to win a playoff game if they make the playoffs. But
what if they do? What if they do? What if they beat the Seahawks or the Bucks? Nah, Danny Dimes.
Well, they beat the Seahawks. They just beat the Seahawks and they lost to the Bucks by 1 point on Monday Night Football. So,
Alex, how dare? Wait, CJ. First of all, I didn't even know you were from New York.
Wow.
Didn't even know that. First of all, but don't ever.
Aren't you guys neighbors?
I spit on the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, for me, like I've gotten over it. 6-3. It's cool.
If they beat the Packers, Matt will leave the group chat with the amount of stuff I'm gonna say.
I don't think you'll make it, bro.
Alex, if somehow, some way the Giants beat the fucking Packers, I am gonna be livid. This cheesehead will be thrown out.
You're gonna have to mute the chat, bro, because it's gonna be crazy.
I would have to mute the chat.
I don't know if we're doing recap. I don't know if we're doing recap shows for each playoff game. I don't care. I'm overriding everybody in Unwrapped. We're doing a recap game just for the Packers.
Alex, all I gotta say is the Wise Cheese name would have to be getting rid of if we somehow lose to the Giants. I'm actually not lactose intolerant. So.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping to say
That's a close one.
I feel bad for people that are because I love me some milk.
I know, right? Hey, and then you could use a thing. He needs some milk.
Packers will win and lose to the Giants.
Anyway, if the Packers lose, we'll actually
Josh,
have all
take us home on the Giants. Take us home.
Oh man, I got really much to say. The Giants are pretenders, but do give them the props for losing Saquon and losing Danny Dimes and beating the Seahawks this past week. But they are not
turnover.
Yeah, but they're not a great team and not going to make it anywhere in the playoffs.
Hey, better than your Panthers.
Kudos to Gallman though. Like he gets
now, what
no
you got
credit
against the Panthers, bro? We're good squad.
Hey, I got nothing against the Panthers. All I gotta say is be ready for Week 15 because the Packers are gonna put the whoop ass on you.
Probably, bro. Probably. We're like 3 and we're like 3 and 8.
I'm glad.
Matt tried to stir the pot, and Josh is like,
You're creating more enemies, bro. You're creating more enemies. That's all you're doing.
I'm just very confident in my team, but that could very much backfire.
I'm sure you are. Well, next up, with your team that's actually relevant, we'll go over to the Seahawks, contender or pretender. CJ, why don't you start us off here?
They're contenders, but as long as Russell Wilson plays like the MVP from the beginning of the season, from like week 1 to week 8, the last few weeks. They put so much pressure on him. They don't have a running game. They've had some, injuries at the running back position. DK's he's excellent. He's a really good wide receiver. Sometimes he doesn't make the simple catches, and he can make the spectacular catches. Like, look at that Thursday night football game against the Cardinals. That's easy. Should have made that one. There was a couple plays as well against Philadelphia, but. I just think it's just too much. You're just putting too much pressure on Russell. We talked about let Russ cook, but to win the Super Bowl, it has to be some more balance, and it's not really any balance in that team. The defense isn't really good. Jamal Adams is good, but the other 10 guys collectively aren't that good. Bobby Wagner's good, but outside of that, they haven't really played well on the back end, on the front end. So. I mean, they're contenders because of Russell Wilson, but when it's time to play one of these teams where, and the Giants had a really good formula on how to play him. Make him stay in the pocket, because he's really great when he rolls out the pocket and makes plays. If you keep him in the pocket and get pressure from like the A and B gaps and get in front of his face, he's gonna have a tough time. So. So they're right there. They could win a title, but I just don't see it because they don't have enough around Wilson.
I am gonna go with pretenders.
Oh, Michael.
Pretenders.
That's fine.
I'm sorry.
Nope. Go right ahead. Go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. I'm going with pretenders.
I raised my hand and everything.
This team is it's the same old Seahawks. They got Blitz Boy out there who barely does anything in coverage. He shit the bed against the Giants, if we're being brutally honest here. The entire team is.
I thought you took a shot at us at first. I was about to ask.
No. Never. I would never take a shot at Blitz Boys, especially with King Connie and King Josh up above. I never disrespect them. The Blitz Boy that we're talking about is Jamal Adams. That's all he's good at. He's a bum in coverage. Terrible. I mean, you can't lose to the Giants. You can't be a contender and lose to the goddamn Giants at home. That just can't happen. And if we're being brutally honest, if they win the NFC West division, they got to play Tampa Bay, as a wild card seed. And I'm telling you right now, TB12 is going to go into Seattle and open up a can of whoop ass and just dissect that Seahawks defense because it's pathetic. I mean, also if we're being brutally honest here, even if they win a playoff game, you think they could go to frozen tundra in January and win? Hell no. You think they go into the Dome and winning? Hell no. Their defense sucks, and they say let Russ cook. He's been cooking up some turnovers as of lately. If we're being brutally honest here, I don't need anger management. I'm just speaking facts, Michael. I'm just spitting facts. Whenever the Seattle Seahawks have to go on the road, they have been struggling in the playoffs. Every game Russell Wilson has been on the road in the postseason, they've taken some fat L's. They have to be at home, and there's really no crowd, so what difference would it really make, even if they play a home game in Seattle, which is one of the loudest stadiums of all? I just don't see it. In my opinion, a contender is a team that has a real shot at winning the Super Bowl, and I don't think the Seahawks have a real chance at winning the Super Bowl. So they're a pretender in my book, and potentially a first-round exit in the playoffs waiting to happen.
So do you think the Browns has a chance to win the Super Bowl?
Well, they got a chance if the offense is clicking on all cylinders and their defense steps up. I'd give the Browns a better chance than the Seahawks. That's a fact. That's the first time I've ever said that. But
I don't know about that.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to say it like this. This is a pretending team. They're pretenders that Russell Wilson is carrying them to be contenders. This is his MVP year for him to do it all.
He'll be lucky to get an MVP vote as of lately.
I still think he'll get a vote.
Please. He lost to the Giants and put up 12 points. That in itself should be.
You just took 20 minutes of the show. Let me talk. Okay, so Seattle is a contending team, but I feel like the team itself is pretenders of a roster. You got Carlos Hyde that's in the backfield right now. I mean, let's just be honest. He was with the Cleveland Browns, and I think he went to 2 other teams before this. He's a decent running back, don't get me wrong, but that is your starting running back right now. Chris Carson plays fragile. Let's just be honest. He plays every game, but there is something wrong with him that he's about to go out for the rest of the game. DK is going to be the man. We know that. I don't really like Tyler Lockett that much. I think Russell Wilson has made him to be a great wide receiver. That's my personal opinion. I know me and Connie do agree with each other on that. I feel like Russell Wilson is making this team be phenomenal and just carrying them on their back. Like we said earlier, their defense is horrible. Their running game is horrible. Russell Wilson just scrambles for his life and then just makes a wonderful play with DK catching an 80-yard bomb. So I feel like this whole team is pretenders that Russ is just carrying them into the contending.
Yeah, I think Russell Wilson himself is a contender, but the Seahawks as a team, they're pretenders. That offensive line gives him no time to throw the ball. I mean, that right tackle they had to play, Jabal Sheard used to be good. He looked like he was playing the best football of his life against that right tackle. Just bull rushed him every play right into Russell Wilson. And that defense, I mean, Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams can't make every play. Jamal Adams is not a great coverage guy, but they need more help than just Bobby Wagner out there making every pass defense. So I think they're contenders, but if Russell Wilson can do what we've seen him do before, then maybe able to put it all back together and be on a streak like they were early in the season. But I just don't see it happening with that O-line and defense.
See, this makes me very sad because, as Josh knows on Blitzwiz, I refuse to pick against Russell Wilson. I really do. I'm all for MVP Russ, but I kind of have to go pretender. I really do. And it has nothing to do with the offense. I think their defense is just so disgustingly bad that even Russell Wilson can't do anything to help them. I would take Russ I don't care what anybody says, over anybody, even Mahomes. I would take Russ over Mahomes because I think if you put him in the same situation, he could probably do that or even more. So Russ is unbelievable, but I just don't think that defense can literally do a single thing to help him out. And like Michael said, I don't even know who the running back is half the time. At one point in the season, they were, I think, on their 5th string running back at one point. And to answer Alex's question, I know early on in the beginning, like earlier in the year, the Seahawks were on pace, and we always joke around how bad their defense is. They were literally on pace to be the worst defense in the history of the NFL. I don't know, Alex, if that is still true, but because they have played a little bit better recently. That game against the Giants, they didn't give up too many points or anything like that. So maybe not, the worst of all time, but I'm sure they'll end up being top 5 bad. Absolutely.
Alex, are you not home yet for real?
No,
how far away do you live from your work?
Alex wasn't even at work at the bank. It just takes a long time to count the money.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll move on to the Bucs for contender or pretender. Josh, how we feeling?
Yeah, I'm going contender. They've been up and down all year, but with that talent on offense and how good their defense can be when they put it together, I think they're contenders. Mainly because the rest of the NFC is also up and down. No team in the conference has been like the clear favorite to win it all. So, I mean, when you have Tom Brady at quarterback and the weapons they have, you always got a chance to win in the playoffs. So, I think they're definitely contenders.
Yeah, they're definitely contenders. I think what needs to happen is there needs to be some type of discussion between Arians and Tom on the offense. I mean, I understand Arians. He has of course, a ego as being a head coach. He's had a lot of success.
Alex, I don't doubt it. You're probably on a first name basis with Jeff. You don't even call him anything. You're just like, what's up, Jay? That's probably you.
He's had a lot. Arians has had a lot of success in this league, being an offensive mind, but also he hasn't won any Super Bowls. So, ultimately you have to listen to Tom and Leftwich as well, being that offensive coordinator. Listen to Tom a little bit. He knows how to win games. Yes, they have the talent to push the ball down the field, every play if they want to, but I don't feel like that's going to be that's the key for them. They need to be methodical, and then if the big play presents itself. If the big play presents itself, then push the ball down the field. They have all the weapons possible, and the red zone they should be they should be unstoppable in the red zone. I feel like that's where Arians should make his money. Creating schemes to get those guys open. They have so many weapons at their disposal. It should be easy there. They have 2 really good running backs. Defensively, the front 7 is good, but that back end is still very young. Carlton Davis, Dean. Antoine Winfield Jr. They're still young, and you see moments of them getting beat, like that game against New Orleans on Sunday Night Football. So that's going to be the key for them. If that back end can really hold it down and not give up big plays, then I think they could host the Super Bowl for sure. But obviously having Tom. Under center, they're always going to have a shot. But I think Tom and Arians, they really need to come together and make any chance. I don't know. Well, I don't think, or AB, no.
I don't think so.
Or AB,
because even Godwin is a free agent after this season, so they're bringing everybody back
through the whole year.
Yeah, I think they should bring Godwin back because Evans also struggles with injuries as well. So those guys played well together. They have chemistry. AB obviously not. He won't be there. But again, they're very talented. So, but I just think Arians and Tom, that's going to be the one of the reasons why if they don't win that Super Bowl, don't come close to it. It's because of what happens on offense. Because it's like one moment it looks like Tom's offense, then it looks like Arians' offense. So they need to have that happy medium.
No, Michael, I guess it's all you.
Yeah. He missed out. It's my turn. Okay.
Wow, crazy.
The Buccaneers are pretenders. That's right, I said it. They are pretenders. Tom Brady is a pretender in the playoffs. They're
What did you say?
Yes, exactly. They're 7-5. They really can't find a way to get it together. Arians and Tom Brady are trying to pull ego controls to see who controls the team more. They're probably going to be a 5th or 6th seed in the playoffs, nowhere close to winning the division because the Saints are their fathers. You know, Drew Brees owns Brady during the regular season, and that's a fact. I'd love to see Antonio Brown go to the Packers. Shit, you pair up Adams, AB, and Funches, boom, back in the game right there. But in all honesty, Tampa Bay will maybe win a playoff game and then probably fall to a higher seed. You know, whether it's the Saints, whether it's the Rams, or even Green Bay. I'd give Green Bay a better chance this time around than last time because we're more of a gelled unit and Rodgers is putting on a clinic. Meanwhile, Brady and Arians are chit-chattering around on who deserves what. But, you know, Tampa Bay, you know, first year under their system, this is kind of what you expect, you know. Really weren't clicking on all cylinders. You know, they're 7-5, barely hovering above 500. They're just lucky they're, you know, in a more easier NFC conference, if we're being brutally honest here. But overall, Tampa's a pretender just for the fact that I don't see them going far. I see them maybe winning a playoff game against a lower seed, against maybe a Giants or a Washington football team, but they got to play a higher seed like a Saints team. I don't see them being the Saints. I don't see them beating the LA Rams if they win the division against that defense. I just don't see that happen. I think the key to success against Tampa Bay is you just pressure old man Brady and you got yourself a win. That's what I think is going to happen. I mean, we've seen teams put a blueprint on TB12 and say, hey, just get pressure on them and that's it. And that's what teams in the playoffs are going to do, and they're going to fall short.
Tom Brady has, I think, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rings. I'm not for sure what he's has.
He's got 6.
So let's just say that he is a contender in life and definitely in the
and
playoffs.
a supermodel wife. So
I don't care.
That should be a verse, contender in life with a supermodel wife.
There you go. Cheese, please come out with a rap song. That would be wonderful.
That would be an utter disgrace to.
That's why it would be great. It would go viral.
Josh, I don't know why, but I feel like you got bars.
Dude, Josh, we got bars, bro. With the bandana going, he'd be spitting.
But anyways, you can't say that Tom Brady on any team is not a contender. Now, this team has had some downs. Definitely had some miscommunication. But this team is a contender. Can they win the Super Bowl? Absolutely. Can they blow it? Absolutely. That's why you play the games.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl is in Tampa. No team who has ever hosted the Super Bowl has gotten there and won. So,
okay. They have the weapons everywhere. So this team is going to be great. Defense, they're still good too. This is a team that we didn't expect to start off undefeated. We figured there would be some growing pains going on here. We're finally getting in more depth in the season. We're seeing this connection come a lot better. Yes, there's still some growing pains going through this, but when it comes playoff time, it's Tom time, and we know it's going to be there. You put pressure on him, he's going to dump it down to a running back in the check down and just take off from there. He'll throw the 3 to 4 or 5 yard passes on the slants and just say, okay, this is how we're basically going to run the ball, just passing it out a little bit. And it's going to be good. We know that. I don't think they win the Super Bowl. That's my opinion, but this is a contender team. You can never bet against Tom Brady on any team. AB out there, Godwin, Evans, Fournette now, who is still a good running back, Gronk, who is a wonderful pass blocker right now. It's a great team. It's a great team. So you can't bet against this team.
Listen,
that's
when you have a god back there in Tom, you can't bet against them. So it's obviously
pretty sure you just jinxed him. They're not even making the playoffs now.
Oh no, never. Well, I can't listen. Just like I don't bet against Russ this year, I don't bet against Brady either. It's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But next up, we'll move over to the Vikings, contender or pretender. You know what? I think I'm going to start this one off just real quick. I'm going to go
the only
with
one that he did information on, guys. He's like, let me get this one too.
Yeah, well, I'm not much of a studier. You can ask any teacher I've ever had in my life, but I'm gonna go with pretender on this one. Although I would like to see them go far in the playoffs, just because I don't know why. There's something about them that I just like. Kirk Cousins annoys me, but I love Dalvin Cook. Adam Thielen.
You like that?
I do like that.
That's right.
Dalvin Cook is unbelievable. Probably like second, third best running back in the league. I like Adam Thielen. I think he's a little underappreciated. Justin Jefferson's, had a breakout rookie season. So, yeah, I like them, but I got to go with Pretender on this one.
Yeah, there probably are pretenders, but I think they're contenders. Just I really like their offense. I think lately it's been going a lot better. Kirk Cousins he's not being so afraid to throw the ball deep. Justin Jefferson seems to just make big plays. He'll have only 5 catches, but he'll have 130 yards. So he's been amazing for them. Their running game, what Dalvin Cook has done, speaks for itself. And their secondary has been really nice too. I mean, their 2 safeties back there, Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris back there have been really, really good for them. So I think they're contenders. I think all of these teams really in the NFC, outside of a couple teams, can be called contenders because they've all been up and down all year and all have real weaknesses. So I'm going contenders.
I'm gonna say pretender. I just don't trust Kirk Cousins. If they're able to give that rock to Dalvin Cook, 30 times, and he's rushing for 120 plus yards, a few touchdowns, that's their formula to succeed. But like Josh said, he is right though. Most of these, maybe outside of the Saints, have all these teams have some type of flaws in them, which could potentially decide whether or not they have a deep playoff run or not. So I think I just don't see the consistency from Kirk. I just seen it primetime games. It's not really that good, and I just don't trust him, man. He could prove me wrong. That'd be cool, but I just think right now I'm gonna call them pretenders, and in that division, they always lose to Green Bay. So outside of that game where Dalvin Cook went crazy, like I said, that's their formula to success. If they could give the ball to Cook, cool. If the opposing team is able to stop Dalvin Cook and you put the ball in Kirk Cousins' hands and tell you go win us the game today, I think their chances definitely are small.
I'm going to say this. Last week against Carolina, 28-27, Minnesota. I'm sorry, I missed a week. Jacksonville, Minnesota, 27-24, Minnesota. Carolina, Minnesota, 27-28, Minnesota. The week before that, Dallas, 31, Minnesota, 28. The week before that, Minnesota, 19, Chicago, 13. This is a pretender team, guys. They're barely beating these teams, or they're losing. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I will say this. I'm going to do a little praise with my Terranum part. Is if they do make it to the playoffs, they have the offense for a playoff run. The run heavy, beat it down your throat, and then throw a little lob pass on a play action and win the game. But this is a pretender team. This is not Minnesota that we're all used to with a great defense that can just lock you up and let the offense make 1 or 2 touchdowns to win. This is just a pretender team.
I really agree as well. They are
Matt, are you underwater currently?
I'm not underwater.
It
sounds like you're in a barrel.
It sounds like you're underwater right now.
I think it might be the headphones. Yeah.
Hey, Michael, you have to answer this question though. I'm very curious to see where this goes.
Yes.
Where are you taking your talents?
My answer is yes.
Wow. Bold. He's just a fan of the NFL next year.
Thank you.
Yeah, we have to look at where it is. The
You're still underwater, Matt. I'm not going to lie to you. Oh,
Okay,
there we go.
I'll-
Stop
I'll-
it. You're
I'll-
good.
I'll-
No,
I'll
you're
just let
good.
Mike-
Now you're good.
Okay, here we go. Basically,
No,
what I'm
it's
trying to
bad
say
again.
is the Minnesota
It's bad
Vikings.
again. No, my bad. Keep going.
You guys are
We
something else, man. But I like it.
It sounds good now.
So, yeah, thank you. Not as good as the Vikings. The Vikings fucking suck. They are pretenders. They probably won't even make the playoffs. If they do, all you got to do is shut down Dalvin Cook because Dalvin Cook, that's all the Vikings are. Kirk Cousins, overrated, terrible in primetime games. He gets lucky that he wins games. I mean, drowning in the cheese sauce. That could be a possibility. But basically, Vikings, they'll be lucky to make the playoffs. But there's one thing I know for sure: if the Vikings make the playoffs and gotta play the Saints, you can book that the Vikings are beat the Saints because the Vikings own the Saints, and that's a fact. So they're pretenders for now. But if they got to play the Saints, you best believe they're beating the Saints.
And we'll move it on here to the final contender or pretender team of the NFC, that being the Cardinals. Michael, what do you got?
I hate this. I hate to say it, but they're pretenders right now, but they look good. I like them, and I think in the next few years they could be, I'm going to use this word very, very lightly, but a dynasty-looking team. I don't think they'll be a dynasty, but this is going to be a team that is competitive for years to come. Murray looks wonderful in that backfield. Even though he's 5'11", he's still able to see and make those passes. Beautiful sliding quarterback slide. Let's be honest. It is amazing. 10 out of 10. I do think they need to come up with a better scheme as far as your running back. But Kenyon Drake has been playing a lot better as a recent. I hated him all year. They had him ranked like top 5 as far as fantasy, and I went out and drafted Chase Edmonds right away, and it paid off great for me for a while. But Drake is looking a lot better right now. I do think that they draft a running back or do something there. Hopkins is Hopkins. Let's just be honest. That defense is decent. It's looking better than what I think a lot of people thought they would, but I'm going to call them pretenders as of right now. But next year, I think they are competing with Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. Michael, once again, being a smart man, I agree with him as well. They are also a pretender.
That's
you.
A fact. I appreciate that.
You know, if they do make the playoffs, their first round exit waiting to happen. Let's be honest here. The Arizona Cardinals are a very inconsistent team. They can somehow find a way to beat the Seahawks, yet they lose to the fucking Lions. I mean, it's bad. You can't be that inconsistent. You know, it's one of those where if you want to be a contender, you got to beat the good teams. You got to win the big games. But Cardinals aren't able to do that. Now, one thing I will say, they are playing at a schedule. They are definitely playing above my expectations this year. I thought Arizona was going to be a team that was going to be like 7-9, 8-8, maybe be good next year, but they've definitely exceeded expectations this year. And, you know, let's see what happens with the Cardinals. I mean, you know, they're definitely a team where when they're clicking on offense, they're one of the best offenses in the NFL. But they're not clicking right now. And, you know, I just think they're pretenders just for the fact that do we think they could be the top teams in the NFC? No. Can they beat the Chiefs? No. Steelers? No. Bills? No. Saints? No. Packers? No. They're not. So even against the Rams? No, they can't. We just saw that last week. So, you know, Cardinals are pretenders, but will be contenders maybe in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, they're pretenders right now. I definitely agree with Michael and Matt. Running game, you know, Kingsbury doesn't really like to run the ball a lot. I think that might be something he needs to reconsider. You know, take some of that pressure off Kyler. Kyler's special, man. One of the best young quarterbacks in the league. Defensively is where they struggle, and that's why you've seen a team like the Rams usurp Seattle and Arizona. It's because they have a better defense, and you know they're just suited well from a more all-around standpoint. You know, losing Chandler Jones was a big time loss for them. Not being able to have a guy to go get the quarterback. He had 19.5 sacks, so 19 sacks or something like that last year. So, you know, that's a big time loss. Isaiah Simmons, the guy that they drafted, has had up and down play in his rookie season this year. So, you know, they have good moments where they could put up 30 with any other team, and then they just have moments where they start off flat and then try to come back, and it's too late. So, I think right now they did exceed expectations, like what Matt said. You know, some people had them being better, but no one expected them to be in this playoff contention right now. So they have a lot of things to look forward to, but I think right now they're pretenders.
Yeah, I'm going pretender too. I think Kyler he's amazing, but he's only in his second year, and they're really depending on him to make everything happen in this offense. And I think he will be capable of that. But in just his second year, I don't think he's quite at that point to where he can do that in the playoffs. And like CJ said, this defense is really their biggest problem. Budda Baker's been really good this year. Isaiah Simmons has stepped it up lately, but not having Chandler Jones there, who helps stop the run a lot, really hurts them. And Patrick Peterson has been getting burned all year, so that's a big problem for them too. So it's just I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with other teams like the Packers or the Bucs or Saints. So I would call them pretenders.
CJ, does it hurt your heart as much as mine thinking about Chandler Jones?
All the time, bro. All the time.
Because every time I see him sack somebody, I cry one singular tear.
Yeah, man, it's sad, bro. But that's Belichick for you.
That's a lot of tears, then,
You
because
know
my
what?
boy's
That
going to
is
want the
Bill.
sack.
What'd you say? What'd he say? What'd you say, Matt?
Oh, no. I was just saying for Anthony, that's a lot of tears to cry because he's been pulling up 19, 20 sacks. I mean, that's a lot of tears to shed.
Yeah,
That's not just tears. That's a full cry. He's probably got a bucket.
we have not found a pass rusher since.
No.
So,
Not
sad.
even close.
Pretty sad.
Well, listen, we went over this. But that was contender or pretend now. To wrap it all up, we're gonna you know what? We're turning this into an award show right now, boys. That's what we're doing. That is what we're doing. We're gonna start it off with the offensive rookie of the year. Everybody, we'll just go down the line, give our take, and then we can talk about it for a little bit. Josh, who you got? Who's your offensive rookie of the year?
Yeah, I got Justin Herbert. Are we elaborating or are we waiting? So
No, we'll go. We'll see what everybody says first. So CJ, that's you now.
I got Justin Jefferson.
Love me some Justin Jefferson, but give me Tua Tagovailoa.
I'm with Justin Herbert.
I'm with Justin Herbert as well. Now, I think Josh, we can agree that Herbert's been pretty solid at quarterback. So that's kind of just easily our thought process. He's been solid, on the charge and everything like that. CJ, I'm kind of curious. Jefferson, I like it. I do like it because I think if Herbert – see, here's my thing. The only reason I do give it to Herbert is because he's a quarterback. Like,
right.
If he wasn't having this year, I would give it to Jefferson as well. But I think quarterback just trumps everything. Why Jefferson and not Herbert for you?
I mean, he's playing really well. You look at, what 2-3 receivers that were drafted ahead of him, Rager, Judy, and Ruggs. He's outplayed them.
Alex, that's a simple lie. That's simply a lie.
Yeah, not even. Yeah,
I don't even know if he's been on the field.
They don't even play. But well, yeah, he's been making big time plays. And, there was a lot of questions on whether or not how quickly would he be able to replace a guy like Stephon Diggs, and he's answered all the questions pretty quickly. And like I said, we know what Kirk Cousins is. He can be inconsistent at times, but he's making some big time plays down the field. Justin Herbert, of course, he's nobody thought he'd play this well this early as well. So he's most likely gonna win it because, like you said, most of these awards are quarterback awards, so because they have the ball all the time. So, but I'll give some credit to the wide receiver and Jefferson playing some really good football.
Now, Matt, what's your thought process with Tua over there? Got a little late start he's a little late to the party.
Definitely is a little late to the party, but I think Tua will win Rookie of the Year just for the fact that he's got a better record than Herbert. I think Herbert's pulling up good stats, but I'm sorry. You may be pulling up stats, but what kind of dubs you got for me lately? You got me no dubs. You just got me – God, I got to think of a comparison. You just got me L's. No dubs. You just give me L's. Tua came in instantly, replaced the great Ryan Fitzmagic, and he's done pretty good.
Got replaced by him again.
Maybe, but
Herbert has a terrible head coach, bro.
Yeah, he does have a terrible head coach. Anthony Lynn got to go. He's got to leave.
He's bringing my name down.
Yeah, he's bringing Anthony's name down, and that's some mad disrespect. And I'm very disappointed that Jefferson went to the Vikings because I got to play that fool twice a year. I wish Green Bay would have been aggressive and traded up to get him, but we decided to waste a draft pick on a third-string quarterback. But we're not going to be talking about that.
That would have been scary, man.
It would have been scary. Could you imagine? I would have gotten his jersey, and I would have been the widest man to try to hit the gritty. I would have tried it. I would have dead ass tried to hit a gritty.
Hit the gritty,
If we had Justin Jefferson on the Packers, you best believe on one of these streams, I would have tried to hit the gritty, and I would have made a fool out of myself.
You know what? I think we can all agree that we're thankful that the Packers didn't draft Justin Jefferson.
Yeah,
I think we can all agree.
Hell, I would have preferred Patrick Queen as well, but they decided not to do that. But the reason why I got Tua is just because he came in to this season with no, you're not getting that.
It's going viral.
No, you're not. You're
posting
not
on TikTok and millions of views.
No, you're not. You're not going to get that, Alex. That's not going to happen.
I'm surprised Chase Young didn't get any love, but I mean he's had a good year too.
He's definitely defensive rookie of the year. That's a fact.
Well, yeah, this is offense, Michael.
Is it a fact?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It could be. It very well is. But
Oh no, I don't think it is fact.
I just got Tua just for the fact he came into the situation against the Dolphins, which I didn't expect him to play this year, and he's gone in and he's done very well with the Miami Dolphins. He's kept them a respectable 8-4 record and in the playoff hunt. And
he didn't even get half of those wins.
No, yeah, he's probably got the same amount of wins as Herbert does if he's starting.
Herbert's only got like 2 wins. That's
all Tua has.
Tua's only played he got benched.
Wait. He has 2 wins. Sorry, I had to guess.
Wow.
I'm a dad.
Michael, exit stage left on that one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Hey, round of applause. Round of applause.
I'm done now. I'm done.
Hey, that's a round of applause.
Oh, no. You're not done. You want to know why you're not done, Mike? Because I need your opinion on the defensive rookie here.
Okay, I mean, it's Chase Young, in my opinion. I mean, he is carrying the Washington Redskins. Washington, whatever you want to call them. So, I mean, to me, just the impact that he's having on the defensive side, I personally, it's Chase Young. And he's the big name, too.
And once again, Michael is a wise man. I agree with him as well. It is definitely – that was bad. Here. There we go.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready?
We missed.
Okay, there we go.
Don't worry.
There we go. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's my fault. No, go ahead, bro.
I'm going with Chase Young just for the sole fact of he's helped the Washington football team maintain a competition in the NFC least, and they actually have a chance to somehow host a playoff game. And that's essentially it. He's with the first round talent on the front line, and he's done a very good job.
Yeah, Chase Young is really good. I'm gonna go with. You could say Patrick Queen. I think right now, you got to look at Josh's guy. You got to look at Jeremy Chin. Playing solid football right now. No one expected him to even be in the conversation at all. So, he's playing really good. Matt Rule. Even though they don't have the wins, but defensively they still have a really solid scheme, and he's been one of the stars of that defense. And I think it was a 3rd rounder. So. He's been making plays, a lot of defensive touchdowns, going in the end zone. So I'm going to go with Jeremy Chin for Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I'm with CJ. Jeremy Chin, Panthers leading tackler, had 2 touchdowns. The reason we were in that game against the Vikings is because Jeremy Chin had 2 touchdowns. So he's been amazing this year for us, best player on defense. So I think he deserves Rookie of the Year.
You know what? This might be the only time me and Josh are going to agree. But I'm gonna go with him as well, just because I want Josh to be happy in life, and I know that if a Panther wins Defensive Rookie of the Year, he's just gonna be beaming. He's gonna be beaming.
But Derek Brown sucks, so I don't know if I'll be too happy.
Hey, just think, you could have had Isaiah Simmons, but instead you took Derek Brown.
He's got potential though, still young.
Well, you know what? Some of these people don't only have potential, but they're very good. Oh.
Gold Dog Josh.
What is that
Come
even?
on, Alex, get your spelling right. First you got Mart, and now you got
driving.
Gold Dog. Come
still
on,
driving, man.
Alex, go get some sleep.
Yeah,
take care of those under eyes, and you're good.
You just get some rest. Just take a night off.
Well, you know who never takes nights off, Matt?
You.
The candidates for Coach of the Year. CJ, who do you think it is?
Way to roll into that. That was nuts.
Yeah, that was good.
I really try. Let me say so.
I do. Excuse you. I'm 19. I got a license. Excuse you.
How many times did you fail your driver's test? Be honest.
None.
That's cap.
First try.
I actually did fail mine one time.
First try.
I failed the written test, so I had to take a whole weird class for it, bro.
How you failed the written test?
Wait.
Actually, hold on. No. Actually, hold on. I'm confused. Wait. I'm confused. Like you have a written test before you take your driving test?
Like the whole junior year, there's a whole class all year of driver's ed, and you got to take this big long test.
I never had that.
And then after that, you got to take a semester of behind the wheel, and you drive with like a driving ed teacher. So
that was like an actual class.
Yeah,
2 classes.
You got to do a
what the hell? That was like an after school thing for us. That was interesting development. But CJ, continue. Who's your Coach of the Year?
Man, I'm gonna go with if the Washington football team, if they make the play, it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. I'll go with I'll go with Sean McDermott. I'll go with Sean McDermott for Coach of the Year. You could say Tomlin. They have 11-1, but what Buffalo's doing, I think I'll go with Sean McDermott.
Do you want me to go next?
Yeah, sure, Matt. Go ahead.
I
You usually take the
gonna
lead on these
go
things anyway.
Full homer. Give me Matt LaFleur as coach of the year. What this man has done in 2 years has been a godsend. I mean, he went 13-3 last year as a rookie head coach with the bad man Aaron Rodgers. Went to the NFC Championship game, and this year he's repeating that same success. Michael, he's 9-3, and he's in the running for coach of the year. Now, a lot of people are going to say, oh, look at Mike Tomlin, 11-1. Look at Andy Reid, 11-1. Look at Sean McDermott, 9-3. You got the Bills Mafia popping off, but give me some good old Matt LaFleur. It seems like ever since Green Bay's had success, it's because my name is in that damn franchise. So give Matt LaFleur coach of the year.
When's the last time they won a Super Bowl?
10 years ago.
Exactly. So no success. Anyway, Matt, Michael, here you go. Michael, go ahead.
I actually want to go with Rivera. I know it's crazy with Washington the way they're going, but just not even the coaching scheme, but actually going into the hospital for so long, coming back out, and still trying to be a part of the team in every situation. I just feel like he's given it everything he's got. Plus, last year, if we're going to talk about last year, he was fired. So, I mean, coming back to what he's doing now, I feel like this is his award to win, and it's deserving, in my opinion.
And I do also like Ron Rivera too. I would love to see Ron Rivera win Coach of the Year as well. But I did have to.
You really think I'm a smart man, don't you?
I know. You are a wise guy.
Which just proves that Matt's not very smart.
Hey, excuse you.
Hey,
don't.
Oh,
like
gotcha.
Connie.
Okay, Michael. You know you're my guy.
You know what, Josh? Who do you have?
Yeah, I think any coach that is able to turn the Browns around deserves that award. So I'm going with Kevin Stefanski.
Yep.
I think he's done a wonderful job because I don't think he ever had a head coaching job before he got this job. So I think he deserves it because, I mean, if you can turn that Browns franchise around, you deserve that.
Yeah.
Statue.
This is hard for me.
Statue.
This is hard for me. It really is because I got 3 that I'm thinking of right now. This might sound dumb, but I'm kind of in the same thought process as Michael. But I go with Joe Judge. At one point, they were 1-7. They're 5-7 now. They're leading their division, a 4-game win streak. If they can make the playoffs, I think that's a very solid turnaround. Josh just brought Stefanski into my head. That's also very true. And CJ, you'll appreciate that. Bill, Bill needs some consideration. Losing Tom Brady, all the opt-outs. Listen, losing Brady, all the opt-outs. Cam is awful, and they're still 6-6.
Did you?
I think Bill. But see, here's the thing. I think Bill is like my third. Matt doesn't even know if there's another coach in the NFL. He thinks that the quarterback coach.
Second place for me was O'Brien. I thought he did a really good job with the old first start.
Actually, see, Michael, he was GM of the year for me. I didn't want him to win both awards. I thought it would be a little too homery.
Okay.
Yeah,
it was really good too.
If we're being honest here, if you talk about a coaching staff that fucks up a franchise, B.O.B. Bill O'Brien is the king of that shit. You kidding me? He physically single-handedly destroyed the Houston Texans in one swipe. I mean, I destroy a lot of things in my life, but I've never seen somebody destroy a franchise.
Well, I'll tell you what was really destroyed.
What?
Everybody, probably everybody that's up to win this award, comeback player of the year. If there's anybody who disagrees with Alex Smith, thank you.
Alex Smith.
Right, so we're just unanimous on that. Good, because if you disagreed, I was removing you from the broadcast.
The Alex Smith Award.
Yes.
Honestly, I wouldn't be against it. I really wouldn't be against it. The man almost died. So now we got defensive player of the year. Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going with TJ Watt. I mean, he's been great. That whole Steelers defense is really good, but he really
you changed up a little bit from Blitz Boys on Monday.
He did. I didn't really look at the numbers before Blitz Boys on that, but after looking at it and what TJ
so you're ill prepared for our own show. Unbelievable.
Damn, come on,
John. So I don't want to hear it. TJ Watt on the year, 12 sacks, 21 tackles for loss. I mean, he's been amazing. He leads almost every category for pass rushers, so I think he definitely deserves it.
Yeah, I'm saying TJ Watt.
Where it at, man? Where's my check at?
No, Alex, where's mine? I'm the one that always asks for money. You're giving stimulus checks to other people? Unbelievable.
Here's one thing I will say. The biggest sleeper pick of all that has somewhat of a chance of winning Defensive Player of the Year besides TJ Watt and Aaron Donald is my homerism. It's Darius Smith. My man played 12 games, 45 tackles, 10.5 sacks. You best believe he's got a chance. He's a heavy sleeper because if we're being honest, TJ Watt, Aaron Donald, they got a lot of name recognition. But if you want to go with the ultimate sleeper, so Darius Smith is definitely the guy because he has been a force.
I'm once again not sleeping. I'm hibernating. Or as you said, sleeping with the AC on, whatever that is.
Yeah, understandable. I could obviously easily see TJ Watt or Aaron Donald winning it, and that'll find a way to get a Packer player. Well, I only get two Packer players in there, Alex. And Darius Smith is a great Packer player. He's great on the defense too. I mean, you look at
who's also great though?
What?
Michael's great.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm a very wise man, and I would not pick a Packer player in this.
I say why not? Give the man a chance. Why not?
Defense and Packers just don't go together, man.
If I were to pick a sleeper, I would consider Myles Garrett.
I was going to say that. I should have talked before you.
So, but that's why you said I'm great because Myles Garrett on the Browns has really looked great this year. He's kept everyone's helmets on this year, so he's not lost that cool. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, he hasn't whack-a-mole anyone yet.
Yeah, that was quite the swing he took, though. If the NFL doesn't work out one day, listen, go check out the boxing ring, my guy. I'm telling you.
Wow, the arcade.
My pick for Defensive Player of the Year is TJ Watt. I'm agreeing with my boy Josh over here and TJ, but I like Myles Garrett as a sleeper pick. I'm not gonna lie, I might have thrown a couple bucks.
I'm sorry, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. TJ Watt is definitely a good option.
That means a lot to me.
I just would love to see if somehow, some ways, Darius Smith will win Defensive Player of the Year because that would warm my heart. Will it happen?
Don't
Probably
worry.
not,
I'm sure you're going to see that, Matt. You're going to see that, but then you're going to actually wake up from whatever
Sean Lee won it. It would warm my heart, but there's no chance.
Yeah, Brian Burns is great.
There's a chance. The man's got 10.5 sacks. Don't sleep on 10.5 sacks.
No.
Listen, you know what? There's a chance for a lot of people to win this next award, and that would be the Offensive Player of the Year. I'm going to go with Dalvin Cook. Josh, who are you going with?
Going with Kyler Murray.
I like that.
Yeah.
You
CJ?
like that? Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Mahomes, man.
Who I want to vote for compared to who I think will win it. I think Mahomes wins it just because of the hype that he is and everything that he does. But on Offensive Player of the Year, I feel like has to go to Russell Wilson because everything he does for that team. Just going back to my point where I'm saying they are pretenders, he alone makes them contenders. But Mahomes is going to win that award.
You already know who I'm going with Offensive Player of the Year. It's that bad man, Aaron Rodgers. If he ain't winning MVP, he's winning Offensive Player of the Year. It's one or the other. He can't have both. Maybe he can, but
or he can't have either.
Oh, quit, Michael, please.
I mean,
he's gonna win one of those. He's gonna win one.
When he doesn't win any of them, then
he'll just hoist up on Lombardi instead. Damn it, he's getting something.
And then once again, you're gonna wake up, but that's fine.
Maybe that happens too. I mean, I'm reading Wide Awake right now, but hey. You got to put Aaron Rodgers' name in the hat for Offensive Player of the Year. Now, will I say MVP? He's in the conversation, but as of right now, it's probably going to go to Mahomes. But Offensive Player of the Year, what Rodgers has been putting up, 36 touchdowns, less than 5 interceptions.
How many touchdowns does Mahomes have?
He has 31.
30.
Oh, 30.
31, yeah.
Yeah, he's got 31. Wise guy speaking here.
How many interceptions does he have?
Two.
Well, he's got 2.
Okay.
But, Offensive Player of the Year, you guys are trying to throw me off. Offensive Player of the Year is going to be either Mahomes or Rodgers. Either one of those two. I'm going with Rodgers just because, he's finally having a solid year. He had a so-called down year last year, and that was 26-4 and 4,000 yards. I would love to run Aaron Rodgers' PR team. I just tell him to say, hey, say whatever
I'm
the
sure
fuck
you would
you
love
want.
a lot of things for Aaron Rodgers, but I would love
Whoa.
to move on to the MVP
Whoa.
conversation.
That's
So, no, that's not a pause because I think it's true.
So
anyway, Michael, who did
for
you
the
got
MVP,
for MVP?
I think it's hands down for the MVP. It's Aaron Rodgers.
hell yeah.
No,
That's
I
such a
don't.
nice- that's a nice moment. Yeah, I know.
I think
That was
Dalvin
crazy.
Cook has a great push for that.
Ooh,
Just
okay,
what he did
Michael.
against the Packers, but I also think it's going to go to Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree as well. It's probably going to go to Pat Mahomes. As much as I love me some bad man Aaron Rodgers, he's
Do you
probably
really
not,
like Rodgers?
Well, I like him as a player. Michael is on Matt's payroll. Yeah, and I don't even know if I have a payroll. I'm
You don't
pretty
trust
broke.
me. I'm not
Yeah,
getting paid
yeah,
anything.
I don't. Yeah, I know. I'm a broke guy, but I would agree with Michael because once again he's a wise man. Now, sports teams that he supports are a different level. He could improve on what teams he supports, but from the sports brain, the man's a pure genius. Pat Mahomes is probably going to win his second MVP. He's probably going to be on pace to win probably another Lombardi number 2. He's 11-1, only thrown 2 interceptions, 31 touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Pat Mahomes. You could have made a case for Russell Wilson, but he decided to cook up some turnovers and kind of threw himself out of the conversation of winning MVP. It's basically a 2-horse race. Maybe a third if you include Derrick Henry, maybe. But it's not
Josh
Mahomes
Allen.
or Rodgers. Oh, please. He had too many struggle weeks. He bounced back this week, but he was slumping beforehand. He's got no shot. But overall, Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, I'm going with Mahomes, man. Just dominant. Like we talked about at the top of the show. Like, be able to throw like that and only have 2 picks. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm going Mahomes too. I mean, only 2 interceptions, 68% completion percentage. It's so go Mahomes.
See, the easy answer here is Mahomes, but I don't like taking the easy way out. So I'm still going to stick with Carson Wentz. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Wait, are you going to with your dad?
I'm going to go. No, I'm not going with my dad either, but I'm going to go with my uncle. I'm going to go with my uncle in Russell Wilson. Because, listen, I know he had some struggle weeks. I know he's had some turnovers. But when you have to do literally everything because your team is god-awful, that has to do something for you. See, I like to look at the context around some things sometimes. Russell has the worst defense, doesn't have the weapons that everybody else has as well. The offensive line is terrible. I mean, I'm just
Good job, Alex.
well, listen, I've never sent Alex a Cash App request ever. Not once. I stick to Venmo because I'm a true man. But I'm going to go with Russell
Good job,
Wilson.
Alejandro. Now here, see, I've always looked at the MVP completely different than everyone else, I feel like, because it's always the
It's whoever had the best season.
Yeah, but to me, seriously, if you take Russell Wilson off that team is horrible. If you put in the backup quarterback for Mahomes, he's probably going to still do pretty good. Not taking anything from Mahomes, but look at the weapons that are around there. I mean, if you just throw a decent ball, those guys are going after it, and they're going to come down with it.
I think if you took Wilson off of the Seahawks, they would be 2-14. Genuinely.
Yep.
It wouldn't be good.
You don't trust defense, man?
Even with Mahomes, I think they may win an extra game, like 3-13. But
Wait,
I
Mahomes on the Seahawks?
yeah, I mean, Mahomes is great. Don't get me wrong, but I just feel like
He's not mobile enough to play behind that line.
Mahomes is great,
That's
but
fair.
I also think Russell Wilson has this mentality in his head that you cannot grade. Like, he is going to do whatever it takes and make that play happen. Mahomes, and again, I'm not taking anything from him. Like, if he rolls out to the right and making the best pass that he's ever made in his life, I feel like he's almost trotting like, hey, look how good I'm looking with it. Now, if he had to run for his life, I think it'd be a different story. Now, I'm not trying to totally roast Mahomes here at all, but I feel that way. Y'all,
He said we're doing great, Michael.
thank you.
Well, you know
Thank
what, Alex? I appreciate you thinking that we're doing great because that's going to wrap up the panel. That is going to wrap it up. We went through the contenders and pretenders. we went through our awards. But before we go, Michael, what do we love doing around here?
It never fails. You got to pay the bills.
Yes, we do. And the way you can pay your bills is by going to mybookie.ag and using promo code USN100 to double your first deposit. Because then when you do that, you're going to win some money, and you're going to go to teespring.com/stores/unwrapped, and you're going to buy some merch from the squad. Listen, I got a poster. I got a solid sweatshirt, a mask. I got a coffee mug. I'm still waiting on a sticker, though. I'm waiting on a sticker. I'm not going to lie. I've gotten, my parents think I spent, $800 recently.
I was going to say, why are you asking for money, man? You're buying all this stuff.
No, but see, here's the thing. My parents think I'm spending, an outrageous amount of money because from the one order I placed, I've gotten legitimately 5 packages. Everything has come separate. So my parents think I'm over here spending every single dollar that I've ever made in my life. And then, but I wasn't even done yet. After you win the money from MyBookie and you go over to Teespring and buy our merch, you're then going to take your leftover money and go to RxHemp and use code RxHemp-USN to save you 10% on your entire order because they got the premium CBD creams, make you feel brand new in the morning. But those are the bills. They're now paid. Wrap it up here, boys. Josh, what do you got to tell the people?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at Josh8Linares. And every Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, me and Connie go live with Blitz Boys. But if any of you guys have good ideas for new names, we are looking to.
Yes, sir. We are not creative people.
No, we're not. So if any suggestions out there, we'll take them. And Thursday nights, probably tomorrow night at 11 Central, me and Monique will be live recapping Thursday Night Football, giving some UFC picks. So make sure you tune in.
Josh, I really like the name for some reason, Pinky and the Brain. Of course, you would be the brain.
I love it.
That's just not true.
I got one for you. The AJ show, Anthony and Josh show. AJ.
Alex, we did not get into this because we only did the people who are technically in the playoffs right now. But
Right.
if I was to answer this, I have to say Pretender, which hurts me. It really does. But we're playing solid. We're playing solid right now. But when Cam is going to combine for 100 yards running and passing, you can't really do that in the playoffs.
Yeah, Pretenders. We'll see what happens tomorrow against the Rams. That'll be the biggest test.
Listen, Josh doesn't like dead-ass sports.
But
You won't let me do it.
That 4-game losing streak they had was pretty bad. So hopefully we could try to get Mac Jones from Alabama or something like that. But you can find
CJ, stick with me here. Hold on. CJ, stick with me here. I say we draft every single draft pick goes to defense because Bill can kind of do that. He's okay with that. If they don't take every penny of their cap money and spend it on offensive talent, I might have to walk away from them for a year because I'll be that mad. I'm just a year. I'll come back. I might pull a Michael. I'm gonna, I'm gonna put all the teams. I'm gonna put all the teams in a bowl, and I'm gonna just pick one. Maybe I'll become a Panthers fan, so Blitz Boys is more entertaining, or something. I do like CMC, but I mean, it's killing me. But anyway, go ahead.
Don't sleep on the cheese. You get to root for another goat-like quarterback in Rodgers. Why not?
Cheese, bro.
No, because I hate Aaron Rodgers. He annoys me.
Why don't you hate Aaron Rodgers? Why do you hate
That whole
Aaron
bowl
because there's people like you who think he's better than Tom Brady, and it disgusts me.
Talent-wise, yeah. Accolades.
Listen, let's go back. Let's talk about that MVP for a second. Matt seriously built up Aaron Rodgers to say Mahomes. I mean, how can you do that? Rodgers, but it's Mahomes.
I want it to be Rodgers. You best believe I do, but knowing the
want
NFL,
it to be
there's someone love.
Listen, I really want to be 100 pounds skinnier, but some things just aren't going to happen. CJ,
Word. Wow, Josh.
tell the people what you got going on.
Find me at the Gardo Podcast. I'm also streaming 2K on the PS5. CJ versus the world. Catch me on Twitch. Doing some different things before the year's over. So catch me at Gardo Podcast on Instagram, streaming on all platforms, and also on Twitch. CJ versus the world.
Everybody's got cool names but us, Connie. Everybody.
Listen, Josh, we're trying.
Blitz Boys talking a whole hour about NBA. That just that works perfect.
Just go with Baller Boys.
I threw out the AJ show. It's got your initials A and J, and then it's a show.
Yeah, but AJ sounds like one person.
Yeah.
Why not the JA show? Why
No. Alphabetical order.
It
People
doesn't have
would
a
pronounce
ring.
that jaw.
It doesn't have
jaw
a ring.
show.
It's like
Yeah, they went there. Actually, Josh,
Can we
I was
make it
about to say that. I was about to say that. They might mess around and think that John Morant has a show.
get so confused, bro?
All right, wait, Matt, what's good with you?
Everything's good with me. My teams are doing good. Normally my Twitter handle is down below, but there you go.
Listen, I had to get CJ some.
Hey, that's all good. Definitely got to show love for CJ. Got some good stuff going. This is my Twitter handle down below. Me and my great friend Caleb Conant have our own podcast. It is called the MCS Real Sports Podcast. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio. You name it, we're available because we're worldwide, baby. And check out our new episodes. We've uploaded some new ones on What Would You Do NBA Offseason Edition, highlighting what NBA teams have done. And give us a follow there. And hope you enjoy our episodes.
So what does MCS stand for?
So it's Matt. It's my first name, Matt, and then C for Caleb, and then S is for whatever. It's like sports, like MCS.
For whatever.
It had a good ring. It's like
S is for whatever.
Sports, slang.
I can see why you came up with the AJ Sports there.
I can too.
I like AJ Sports. I like JA Sports too. But anyways, guys, I am Michael Lawson, as you can see on here. MD Lawson00 is my Twitter and Instagram. I don't really do much sports on Instagram or my family, but follow me on all that stuff. I also do a lot of Sportscaster as well. It's MD Lawson00 USN on there. You can actually type in USN on the search bar in Sportscaster and find all of our guys that are associated with Unwrapped Sports. Also, check us out tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern for Backstop Banter. About said Bleacher Boys. That don't even make sense. But Backstop Banters, where we'll be talking everything about the baseball situations going on with free agencies, some of the trades, just signings. And obviously, with the way that baseball is going right now, you have to talk about the Mets. The Mets are relevant again. So come check me out on that, and I would appreciate it. So that's it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you guys can't steal my thing. I'm putting it on a shirt. I'm putting on the Backstop Banter shirt and the Blitz
you're
Boys
not.
shirt.
Tell
Nope.
Perry to put it on Teesprings.
I might have
Cut
to.
that
I
out
think it would be.
Teesprings, that's
I
a
think it would be
seller.
the best seller. But honestly,
you got your face on it too. Not
Exactly.
just saying you got to have the face because the face is what sells.
I mean, let's be honest, guys. A cartoon character of Josh on a shirt with that bandana, as you young kids say, that would be fire, whatever that means.
Ooh, look at you, Michael.
Hey, great facts.
No, because here's what I think. We're gonna sell a shirt.
Sherry would say it would be moist.
Ooh, whoa. We're gonna sell a shirt with me like this, but then we're gonna start selling some Henny headbands for Josh.
What
I think that's the move.
What about me wearing a cheese head? Would that sell, or would that just lose money?
No.
Lose money?
Well, listen, I'll tell you what does sell. Me following me on Twitter. That sells. That's a good move. Michael is a content creator.
Hey,
yes,
maybe,
sir.
maybe Alex could give you more money if they follow your
listen,
Twitter.
You could give me more money, Alex, and feel free to do that. You feel free to be a sponsor for the Blitz Boys podcast, which we just posted today, available on Apple Podcasts everywhere. I'm a little late getting them out sometimes because I'm a busy person, but school's over. It's over, so I'm good now. Busy person, but now I'm good. So make sure you follow me at Connie. Like Josh said, 7 Eastern Blitz Boys. We always have a good time over there. And then Michael, we always have a great time on Backstop Banter as well. With we're 10 Eastern, or whenever Michael can get the children to bed, because this man he's a grown man. He got responsibilities unlike me.
Yes.
But with all of that being said, I greatly appreciate. I greatly appreciate the 4 of you for joining me. I appreciate everybody for watching all 2 hours and 37 minutes of this great program, if I say so myself. But that'll do it for this NFL football panel, whatever you want to call it. It was a great time. Yeah, exactly. We're just fantastic at what we do. But we will all see you next